Arhut walked to Long Fei's side and said in a low voice, "He is a demon." Arhut walked to Long Fei's side and said in a low voice, "He is a demon." Long Fei did not have any changes. "Your son is a demon. How can your father not be a demon?" Obviously, Su Tianlei had just consumed the Xian Ming devil pill, and the aura on his body abruptly changed. Also, Long Fei's heart tensed up. The strength of the Xian Ming devil pill increased greatly after Su Yu consumed it. Killing him in an instant was a very normal thing. But where's Su Tianlei? He was a War Master Ream cultivator. If he were to use Xian Ming devil pill S and level up to War Emperor realm, then Long Fei thought in his heart, looks like I have to be more careful in the future. The War Emperor realm, it wasn't something that could be killed so easily. Even if Long Fei possessed a second-level Wushuang now, he did not have absolute confidence. In Xinjian sect, it was because Wu Haoyan looked down on him. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to kill Wu Haoyan. This was the barrier of the War Emperor realm, and Long Fei had not completely crossed it. All along the way, Arhut had been staring at Su Tianlei. He had a nagging feeling that there was a power in Arhut's eyes that was able to pierce through his body, and it was extremely uncomfortable. This feeling only existed after he had consumed the magic pill. Half a month passed. They had already gone deep into the depths of the dark forest. Demon beasts were becoming rarer as well, but every time they met a powerful level 5 demon beast. All of these demon beasts were taken by Long Fei alone. He continued to kill. His experience points was also rising rapidly. All along the way, Su Tianlei had kept his mouth shut and did not dare to make the slightest movement towards Long Fei. However, he was waiting. He would definitely take revenge for his son's death. At night, they set up a bonfire. The old man said slightly, "Tomorrow, I will enter the Dark Canyon. After walking through the Dark Canyon for another 10 days, I will be able to leave the Dark Forest, which means I will be able to enter the Sea Devil Emperor's territory." Su Tianlei was overjoyed as he said softly, "The Dark Canyon is a heavenly danger. Once we enter, even if we encounter a slightly fiercer demon beast, I would probably suffer heavy casualties." He arrived at the agreed location with the Shadow Devil. The old man said, "I also know this, but there is only one path that can be taken." Long Fei replied, "Not really. If you are willing, I will let the ice and fire carry you there. There is no need to go through all that trouble." Long Fei said, "It was just a natural risk, so wouldn't it be fine to just fly over?" It was dangerous. Did he have to call them to leave? Isn't this asking for trouble? It was just like Journey to the West. It was something that could be solved with a single somersault. Where did he want this place to be? Where did he get this place to cause so many things? The old man shivered. Su Tianlei said in disdain, "Do you know how long the Dark Canyon is? Do you think it will be that easy to fly over the Dark Canyon? If I could fly, could I not think of it?" Long Fei also disdainfully said, "If 1 time won't work, then 2 times won't work, 2 times won't work, 3 times won't work. Since you know it's a heavenly risk, then why don't you go challenge it? Isn't that just courting death?" The old man quickly replied, "Dark Canyon is the center of the Dark Forest. It is also a natural barrier of the Sea Devil Emperor. If we can fly over it, then it wouldn't be a natural barrier." Long Fei looked at the old man and asked, "What's on top of Dark Canyon?" The old man said, "In the Dark Crow King's territory, no one can fly over there, not even your dragon." Dark Crow King. Long Fei's heart trembled, and he thought to himself, listening to the name, "It's a boss." Su Tianlei sneered, "Ignorant and ignorant." Long Fei glared and said, "What if I fly over?" Su Tianlei immediately said, "Brat, if you can fly over, then I, Su Tianlei, will immediately disband the mercenary group and withdraw from Tianyan City and rely on you." "Humph, brat, I didn't say that. Forget about a low-level dragon. Even a divine dragon can't fly to Dark Canyon." Others might not know, but he knew it very well, because he had seen the Raven King before. An expert of War Emperor realm was instantly killed. No one could defeat him. Above the Dark Canyon was the Dark Peak and also the lair of the Raven King. It would not allow anyone to fly into its immediate vicinity. The moment it appeared, it would die. Long Fei looked at Su Tianlei. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for coming across the quest Spying on Dark Peak. Mission: Spying on the Dark Peak level. A time. 1 day reward. 200,000 experience. 10,000 true chi. 1,000 points. Obtaining an S-rank score will allow one to obtain a free lottery draw. Su Tianlei laughed disdainfully. From the looks of it, you already know that you don't dare. Don't think that just because you have 2 divine beast pets by your side, you're nothing out of the ordinary. I have seen many people like you. Most people die tragically in the end. You have to learn to keep a low profile. Do you understand? He was angering Long Fei. With Long Fei's age of vigor and vigor, it was very easy for him to be infuriated. Long Fei smiled slightly. Dismissed the mercenary group and left the Tianyan city, right? You said so yourself. I've been tricked. Su Tianlei was overjoyed and immediately said, I am the one who said it. As long as you can fly over the Dark Canyon, I will immediately disperse the Su's mercenary corps and leave the Tianyan city. I, Su Tianlei, will keep my promise. He was secretly delighted in his heart. Once you leave, no one can stop me here anymore. Haha, wait until I get that treasure, then I'll come back and deal with you. Boy, even if you don't die, you won't be able to live. Long Fei said, then it's a deal. I'll be waiting for you at the entrance to the canyon. Finished. Long Fei left. He was not an idiot. He would not be angered just because of a few words from Su Tianlei. He was very clear that the reason why the 8 great demon sects did not attack them along the way was because they were waiting for the perfect time, or perhaps he was waiting for a perfect location. The Dark Canyon is it. If he were to hide, it would change from passive to active, from a cicada to a yellow sparrow. Moreover, from the feeling he gave Long Fei, the employer elder was definitely not someone to be trifled with. He clearly knew that Suyu had become a demon by devouring magic pill, and Su Tianlei must definitely be related to some devil sect. The Su's mercenary corps did not trust him, but he still insisted on leaving the Dark Canyon. Is he a pig? No, he definitely had his own plans. Moreover, he believed that the power that would help him would definitely be able to bring him out of Dark Canyon. Therefore, he did not expose Su Tianlei. This way, if Long Fei hid himself, then it would be even better. Long Fei acted like he was being arrogant and stood up and said, You guys watch this for me. I'll definitely fly over, humph. With that, he left in anger. The old man's eyes narrowed as he thought. It's good for him to leave. Su Tianlei, on the other hand, disdained him in his heart and said, To become so arrogant and conceited with just a slight provocation, you truly are brainless trash. Long Fei walked over to the side of Wang Shiyun and the other 2. He whispered a few words in a low voice. Table of contents, Wang Shiyun frowned. There are Dark Crow King S above Dark Peak. You must be careful. Long Fei laughed. Don't worry. And then, Long Fei said, Remember what I said. Chapter 28_8419/2356640. Ice and fire, let's go. Ice and fire, let's go. Long Fei stood on the body of the fire and ice, soared into the sky, and instantly disappeared into the darkness. Su Tianlei looked in the direction Long Fei disappeared to and laughed. The old man also looked at the night sky, his eyes expressionless. Light this up. In the middle of the night, Su Tianlei took out a special signal detonator and placed it in Su Jinshan's hand, saying, Once you're done counting, you can leave. Su Jinshan nodded and said, Understood. Big brother, now that Brad has left, why didn't he attack Wang Shiyun? Once Long Fei left, the 3 of them would no longer pose any threat to them. Su Tianlei laughed coldly. There's no rush. Big matters are now more important. Tomorrow, after entering the valley, you and 4th Bro will have to stare at the old man closely. The item is on his body, and if we succeed this time, our Su's mercenary corps will have no problem breaking through to the King realm. Su Tianlei became excited. The night passed in silence. The morning of the 2nd day, the procession punctually entered Dark Canyon. What surprised Su Tianlei was that Wang Shiyun and the others did not stay by the old man's side. They guarded the entire way, and after entering the canyon, they gave up. Su Tianlei thought in his heart, "At least you guys are sensible." The old man was aware of this, but he did not reveal it. And then there was Long Fei. He did not go to any dark peak. Compared to the Dark Crow King, he was more concerned with the God's Devil Loot, God's Devil Blade, God's Devil Blood, these things. He rode the fire and ice into the darkness and immediately fell into a trance. Become a demon. Hidden his aura, he quietly followed behind. For an A-level mission, giving up was equivalent to giving up. Even if they could get an S-level score, it would only be another chance at a lottery. God's Devil Loot, the God's Devil Blade, sounded like Holy Artifact S. Moreover, his three-blade stream was still missing a blade, so the God's Devil Blade might be able to become the third blade. The mantis stalks the cicada, and the yellow sparrow follows. The yellow sparrow was in front, while the hunter was behind. It's no use being an oriole. You have to learn to be a hunter. The cold wind gusting in the dark canyon was like bursts of muffled thunder. Other than the sound of the cold wind, there was no other sound in the valley. Suddenly, Su Tianlei suddenly shouted, "Stop! Something's wrong." He pretended to be enigmatic as he walked over to the old man. "There is a situation up ahead. Why don't we stop here?" The old man firmly said, "Continue moving forward. You're not allowed to stop." Su Tianlei said, "This is not good. Dark Canyon is too dangerous. We should just take it step by step. I'm the employer. If I say you can't stop, then you can't." The old man was somewhat anxious. Su Tianlei said, "You are indeed an employer, but I am in charge of this time. I must consider the lives of my brothers, unless you can tell me what it is that you have with you." The elder's eyebrows furrowed as he asked, "What do I have on me?" "Why, Captain Su, do you want it too?" Su Tianlei slightly said, "All of our Su's mercenary corps' focus on missions. I just do not want our lives to be sacrificed for nothing." The old man said, "Don't worry. I will definitely let you see when we reach Sea Devil Emperor, but not here, of course, and I order you to move forward." "Old fox." Su Tianlei's face turned sinister. "Are you just not willing to say it out loud?" The more the old man spoke, the more he felt that this was a good thing that could allow him to soar into the heavens. Su Tianlei slightly said, "Since you insist on it, we will do as you say. But if anything happens, I am not responsible. Come out." Before he could finish his words, rumble, rumble, a loud sound echoed from the entrance of the canyon. A disciple of the Su family quickly ran over and said, "Captain, the mountain has collapsed. The entrance has been blocked off." Su Tianlei frowned. He thought to himself, "Is Master Shadow Devil going to make his move?" The elder was also secretly anxious as he said, "All of you, advance." "Forward what? I've been waiting for you here for a long time. Enmo." Suddenly, a group of people emerged from the other end. One of the 8 great demon sects, the Blood Moon sect. At this moment, the King Kong exorcism wand on Arhut's back started to tremble violently. The only difference from the last time was that his expression was very calm. The old man frowned and said, "I don't know what you're talking about." It was all for the Blood Moon Black Deacon, Etianon. He stared at the old man coldly and smiled faintly. "You don't have to pretend in front of me, do you? No matter how good your disguise or how deep your disguise is, you have already revealed your true colors in front of my Blood Moon sect. Mo from Blood Sea sect, a remnant of the demonic sect. Hand over all the items from the God's Devil Ancestor. On the account of the God's Devil Ancestor, I will spare your life." His voice was ice cold. Su Tianlei was a little confused. Could it be that the frail old man beside him was not an elder of the High Tian Merchant Union? How did he become the Mo of the Blood Sea sect? What was going on? I don't understand. He didn't understand at all. Wang Shiyun and the others were also stunned. Li Yuanbao muttered, "Isn't the devil race too complicated? How come their employers turned into demons?" "Ha ha ha." The old man laughed sinisterly. "Black Deacon, I didn't think that you would bring the Blood Moon mirror here. Your sect master has really put in a lot of effort. Blood Moon Mirror. As long as the Blood Moon Mirror carried with it the existence of a demonic mirror, it would be able to sense any kind of demonic aura. The corners of Black Deacon's mouth turned cold, and he laughed lightly. It's good that you know this. Obediently hand over the magic box, and I will spare your life. The old man sneered. With just you? Not yet. Black Deacon frowned, his killing intent rising as he said, I'll let you know what qualifications are. As soon as his voice faded, the disciples of the Blood Moon sect moved in unison. All the people he brought out this time were the elite disciples of the War Master Reem, and he himself was at the first level of the War Emperor. Yo, they're already fighting over them? Didn't the Blood Moon sect say they won't participate in this contest? Black Elder, you really are one man, one woman. A soft voice rang out. Black Deacon immediately shouted, Protect your heart and close your ears. His voice carried a demon note that seeped into the hearts of humans. The King Kong exorcism wand on Arhut's back started to tremble even more violently. The diamond rings clashed together as if about to go berserk. Su Tianlei also suddenly shouted out, Quickly cover your ears. However, his reaction was too slow. Ha ha. More than half of the Su disciples started to madly laugh. Baidu's sister-in-law, A half. Floating life, strongest upgrade system demon note entered his heart. His mind was in a mess. He was crazy. One was stronger than the other. A group of peerless girls walked out from within the gorge. They wore very little clothes, and each one of them was a devastatingly beautiful beauty. Chapter 38_8419/2356641. Evil Sound Sect, one of the 8 great demon sections. Evil Sound Sect, one of the 8 great demon sections. They were all women's sections. They were proficient in demon note attacks. The moment the demon note entered their bodies, it would be controlled by them. In addition to their impeccable looks and charming eyes, it was much easier to control the men. The laughing disciples of the Su family had already become their puppets. As long as they needed it, they could attack with all they had. The lady in charge was called Xiechin, the only disciple of the Evil Sound Sect's sect master, and also the great elder of the Evil Sound Sect, had an extremely strong cultivation. Xiechin smiled slightly. Master Inimo, our Evil Sound Sect does not want anything else. As long as it is a God's Devil loot, this Guqin was once made jointly by us and the ancestors of the Evil Sound clan. It belongs to our Evil Sound Sect itself. Humph, what do you mean by refining together? It seems that you, the ancestor Xiayin, shamelessly begged the God's Devil ancestor to refine it? Black Deacon sneered. The old man said, It seems you know what is in the box. The Black Deacon laughed. God's Devil blood, God's Devil loot, God's Devil blade. 3 magic Buddhist relics. Inimo, you don't have to hide anything anymore. Who doesn't know about this? The 8 great demon sects have already spread word of it. Do you really think you can hide it from us? Then, Black Deacon looked at his surroundings and said, Don't hide anymore. Is there any meaning in hiding? Since you're already here, why do you need to hide anymore? As soon as he finished, Ha ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. The people hidden in the darkness of the canyon had all come out. The 8 great demon sects were all gathered. Blood Moon Sect, Evil Sound Sect, Blood Refinement Sect, Blood Sea Sect, Mountain Sea Sect, Ghost Evil. All of them appeared. In a few minutes, the entire canyon was crowded to the point that not even a drop of water could trickle through. Su Tianlei landed on a person's body, the shadow devil of the Mountain and Sea Sect. Inimo, since you already know about it, then let's talk about it on the table. You don't want to keep everything that God's Devil ancestor left to you, right? That's right. The God's Devil ancestor was once our demon lord. We demons have a share of his possessions. Divided. Divide? How? The 8 great forces only have 4 items. How can we split them? No matter what you say, my God's Devil loot will definitely belong to my Evil Sound Sect. Only my Evil Sound Sect will be able to release its power, and only then will we be able to deal with the sect. Xiechin, if you say it like that, Then I even said that the god's devil blade would belong to my blood sea sect. If your evil sound sect obtains the god's devil loot, then what? The 8 great powers quickly started quarreling. Li Yuanba said naively, "It's exactly as boss expected." Wang Shiyun said, "We must not move recklessly. Wait for Long Fei to come back." Su Tianlei was also secretly a fool. He thought that only the Mountain Sea sect Shadow Devil had returned. He never thought that all 8 demon sects would come. Then this time, his heart tensed up at the same time. He approached Inamo and asked, "What do we do?" While they were talking, he looked at Su Jianshan and Su Tianshan. The two of them nodded slightly. They couldn't deal with the 8 demon sects, but as long as Inamo was in his hands, then nothing would be a problem. Inamo's voice sank and said slightly, "Since you all know that this is a treasure left behind by the god's devil ancestor, then you all should know that this is not for you all." Not waiting for him to finish, everyone was furious. "Not for us. Did I leave it for you alone?" "Inamo, don't say that you don't have any greed for them. What are you planning to do by bringing them to the Sea Devil Emperor? Could it be that you want to worship in the demonic temple?" "Humph, you are the most cunning old fox of the demons, and no one can trust you. What's more, God's devil ancestor has died for so many years, and not a single corpse is left. So what if we rob him of his things? Can he climb up from the underworld to bite us?" In the process of their argument, it was unknown who said this from the crowd. "Let's fight. It's up to who's stronger." It was not loud. However, it was very clear, and almost everyone heard it. Li Yuanba's heart trembled, and he thought to himself, "Why does this sound a little like boss?" It was also at this moment. Everyone became alert and took out their weapons at the same time. "Fight me. Whoever wins will take care of him." "You're right. This is a world where the strong are respected. Whoever is strong enough will be able to obtain everything. Come on, come on." They continued to clamor. No one was stupid, and no one wanted to fight first. Fighting first would definitely lead to public outrage, and could even lead to a group attack. This was rather disadvantageous for them. Still can't fight. Long Fei, who was hiding amongst the disciples of the demon sect, cursed in his heart, "Mother of asterisk cur, a bunch of trash. If they're not going to fight, then what the hell are you guys doing?" He was the one who said that. He thought it would happen at once. It was unexpected that these demonic factions had yet to start fighting. However, they were all quite tense, and as long as there was even the slightest bit of stimulation, they would all be engaged in a chaotic battle. What could excite them? Long Fei thought about it again and again, and then silently said to himself, "I have to do something, or else. How can a hunter like me benefit from this?" Being among the demons was like gaining some benefits. He did not care about God's devil ancestor or the 8 great demon sections. What he wanted was experience. It's the true chi. Of course, it would be better if he could get something from the God's devil ancestor. If the entire valley was filled with disciples of the devil sect, and all of them were killed, the total amount of EXP would definitely be raised by 1 or 2 levels. Long Fei retreated a few steps. One of the devil sect disciples asked in a low voice, "The fight is about to start. Where are you going?" Long Fei said in a low voice, "I'm too nervous. Go take a piss first. Don't be unable to hold it in later." The person said, "I also need to pee. Let's go together." Long Fei was startled for a moment, and then said, "Okay." The two of them sneakily retreated into the darkness. Then the demon disciples immediately untied their belts, looked at Long Fei and asked, "Brother, which elder's disciple are you? Why have I never seen you before?" Long Fei laughed foolishly and said, "I belong to." He walked forward. With his right hand grabbing, he took out the dragon salyer and hacked down. Crack! His head was broken and he was still pissing in the air. Long Fei retracted his dragon salyer and said disdainfully, "Aren't you courting death?" And then Long Fei summoned his ice and fire and said, "Ice and fire, dark peak. Shall Bai, you stay behind to protect them." As soon as he finished, ice and fire soared into the sky. Something had to be done. Long Fei didn't even have the patience. What devil sect disciples? They didn't have the impulsiveness that a demon should have, and had to give them something to provoke. They had to get excited. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to fight until next year. Chapter 48_8419/2356642. They all had their own misgivings. They all had their own misgivings. With the fall of a heavenly demon, the strength of the South Horizon region's demons had fallen by 100,000 feet. After being crushed by the Orthodox sects, the territory was constantly shrinking. These years, the demon's strength didn't have a single powerhouse carrying the flag, and the whole demons remained scattered. Long Fei had nothing to do with any of these. Whether it was the demons or the Orthodox sects, he only had one goal: to level up his experience. They had all been stuck in Dark Canyon, cursing and swearing at the top of their lungs. Just like that, they didn't have the slightest bit of energy. He wanted to do something exciting. What kind of stimulation was the Dark Canyon? Dark Crow King. This boss was definitely exciting. As long as he provoked this guy, he believed that he would definitely be able to make the Devil Sect disciples happy. Boom! At the peak of Dark Peak, a muffled thunder exploded in Long Fei's sea of consciousness. Long Fei's body sank. Lowly human, you dare to approach my territory? You're courting death. The pressure was as heavy as a mountain, and Long Fei was almost crushed to the point of lying on his stomach. It was extremely uncomfortable. His voice was like thunder as he said in a wild voice, "Grandson, today is the day you die." As soon as his voice faded, the sky suddenly turned dark, as if it was enveloped by darkness in an instant. Binghu was secretly shocked. "Master, it's dangerous." If even the flames and ice felt that it was dangerous, then this Raven King must be extremely fierce. Long Fei asked, "Can you see the Raven King? We'll talk about it after we blast him." Binghu was stunned. Isn't this too crazy? In the tens of thousands of years since the Raven King had taken control of the Dark Forest, his cultivation had probably already reached an extremely terrifying level. Binghu was excited as well. "I think away, get ready," Long Fei said. "You be careful too." Since he was already here, he had to first blast him a few times. He wanted to see just what level this Raven King was at and how much health he had. At the very least, he had a certain level of confidence. If there was a chance, then he would ruthlessly kill him. "Crow King, you F***er, come out if you have the guts." "You're still saying that I'm petty? In my opinion, you're the lowliest thing in the world, and you don't even dare to come out. What's the use of saying that?" "Come out," Long Fei clamored. Yin Huang Ancestor said lightly. "It came out long ago, and it's right above your head." Long Fei slightly raised his eyes, almost peeing from fright. Two gigantic black eyes were staring at him coldly. An incomparably huge crow, so big that it was hard to describe, had actually appeared before the level 9 demon beast, but its shock was not even 1 in 10,000. The Yin Huang Ancestors said, "This Crow King is about to become intelligent soon. He has a special kind of power on him. If you can tame him, his power can bring you into the underworld. Of course, he needs to break through to the next level. If he breaks through another level, he will evolve into a 9 secret underworld finches." 9 secret underworld finches. Long Fei secretly thought, why does this name sound a little familiar? It seems to be something that appeared in that novel. F***CK. You still care about that now? Long Fei immediately roared and said angrily, "Ice and fire, it's above our heads." The fire and ice also sunk and raised their heads. "Enough distance." Ding! Target locked. Long Fei instantly released the joint attack skill Ice and Fire 9 Heavens, Burning Ice and Fire Prairie. Thunder raged above the 9 heavens. A laser beam shot down and landed directly on the Crow King's body. However, it did not pierce through the Raven King's body. Moreover, what made Long Fei incomparably gloomy was he actually gave it to Mises. The Ice and Fire 9 Heavens. Any expert below the War Emperor realm level can kill them instantly, but not a single feather fell from the cannon. On top of his head appeared another English word, miss. It was truly taking one's life. Bing was also dumbfounded. She immediately became angry and asked, "Master, with my current cultivation level, I can open the second layer. Should I? Long Fei did not wait for him to finish. Don't want it anymore. Fleeing now is more important. Dark Crow King was furious. Damn human, go to hell. The sound was as if the heavens were splitting apart. An enormous amount of darkness energy came crushing down. If he did not leave soon, Long Fei's little life would end here. He finally knew what Dark Crow King was. He finally knew how terrifying this guy was. It was the MIS. Just thinking about it made Long Fei's scalp tingle, but he had achieved his goal. Ding! Spying on the Dark Peak. Mission completed. Ding! Quest score. D level. As long as you can complete the mission, you can go to hell with the task score. Long Fei cursed and said to Ice and Fire, "Don't worry about anything else. Just focus on charging into the canyon." Ice and Fire said, "Understood." Dark Crow King was incomparably furious, and no one had dared to anger him for all these years. Today, he was definitely going to teach Long Fei a lesson. Darkness flames. Rumble. Flames filled the sky, crazily burning. Long Fei immediately merged into the mind of the Ice and Fire and ordered, "Right side. To the left. Slow down for a bit. Hurry, hurry, hurry. If you don't hurry up, we'll burn our butts." At the same time, Long Fei said to Li Yuanba via sound transmission, "Yuanba, protect them well. I'm coming." Ding! Do you want to return to your original body? Yes, sir. Long Fei had reverted back to his original body's appearance, so he didn't have anything to worry about anymore. Looking at the black mass of Dark Canyon, he could tell from afar that they were still arguing about something. Huff! Ice and Fire. Long Fei moved. Burn them all. Understood. Ice and Fire surged from his throat as flames roared. Like a fire dragon, it charged out and exploded within the canyon. Greater than sign, a large amount of damage floated up. However, that's not enough. Long Fei said again, "Ice sword attack. Attack those Devil Sect disciples behind you." Understood. The Ice and Fire attribute turned and sucked in a large mouthful of air, condensing the water in the air into an ice sword and wildly shooting down. Another wave of damage. Long Fei did not need to be killed instantly, nor did he need to suffer any heavy injuries. All he needed was a little bit of damage because there was a huge fellow following behind him. As long as he attacked and was killed, he would gain the same amount of experience. This was the advantage of the system. The 8 demon sect disciples raised their heads to look at the Ice and Fire, all of them furious. Su Tianlei also sneered. Coming back at this time is simply courting death. What a brainless trash. It was at this moment, a Devil Sect disciple suddenly shouted, "What's behind that dragon? Oh my God, Dark Crow King. The Dark Crow King is here. Floating life. Table of contents, no windows. A plus plus at the same time." Long Fei madly roared at the Dark Crow King. "Grandson, let me say it's time for your death, right? The entire valley is filled with my people. Kill me if you dare." The demons in the canyon were all dumbfounded. Chapter 5. Monthly tickets are all games played by tycoons. The C isn't a tycoon, so he couldn't afford to play this game. Everyone read. 8_8419/2356643. Foolish humans, go to hell. Foolish humans, go to hell. The flames covered the sky and the earth. Long Fei shouted loudly, "The stimulating thing is coming." Immediately, he once again told Li Yuanba, through the idea's sound transmission, "Find a hidden place to hide. I didn't come down. You guys definitely can't come out." Faster. Li Yuanba immediately followed along. This way of speaking, as the Raven King's attack crashed into the canyon, the flames in the canyon were like flowing lava, and not a single blade of grass grew. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Blood Moon Sect disciples for obtaining 400 experience points, 700 true chi, 10 energy values, 10 points. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Blood 8 Blade. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Blood Sea Sect disciple for obtaining 400 experience points, 700 true chi, 10 energy values, 10 points. Ding, ding, ding. It exploded. The system beep exploded. Bang, bang, bang. The sound of the explosion rang out. It did not stop. It was a complete mess. A wave of massacres swept through the valley, followed by a wave of angry curses. Which sex disciple is it? Who is it? Don't let me catch you after 1,000 cuts. Otherwise, I will break his third leg. I will definitely refine him into a blood corpse. It's here again. It's here again. The Raven King is here again. Another wave of flames sprayed out. Those disciples of the demon sect all covered their heads and fled for their lives. Their hatred for Long Fei rose to the sky, and they were extremely furious. Flames sprayed down. Ding, ding, ding. The system beep crazily sounded again. Long Fei became excited, looked at the increase in his experience, and started to laugh vulgarly in his heart. Ha ha, this level up is too awesome. At the same time, Long Fei continued to scold. Grandson, do you have the guts to kill all of my people? The Raven King was even more enraged. He had to say it. An expert at the early stage of the War Master could basically be killed in an instant. In the entire valley, only a few experts at the War Emperor could barely avoid the fire attack. Ding, 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 ding. 10 minutes later. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, War Chief level 8. It leveled up. Just as the system beep landed, the power of War Chief level 8 gushed out from Long Fei's body. It was very abundant. The feeling of leveling up is great. However, I still want to enjoy it again. Long Fei moved. Ice and fire. Come up with something more difficult. Bingwa chuckled and said, understood. Rushing up to the sky, Long Fei retracted his wings, turned, and charged straight down into the canyon. Standing on the dragon's back, Long Fei shouted toward the incomparably huge Dark Crow King. You're going to hit me, you're going to bite me, you're going to hit me. Grandson, you're coming. He was filled with hatred. A lot of demon disciples had died, but only a small part of them. There was still a large wave of Devil Sect disciples who hadn't died. What were these? Experience. The true chi. How could it be wasted? It wasn't easy to lure the big boss out, but if he didn't make good use of it, it would be a waste. After being ridiculed by Long Fei, Dark Crow King was so angry that his entire body had turned into flames. When the flames dispersed, millions of flaming crows flew out. Fire Crow. As the Dark Crow King's voice fell, millions of fire thunder crows rushed into the canyon. Don't chase me, don't chase me. Rumble. When the fire thunder crow touched its body, it exploded. Immediately, it was all gone. Ding! The entire canyon was filled with fire thunder crows, exploding whenever they came into contact with someone. Wow! It's here, it's here! Long Fei saw that there was a large group of fire thunder crows following behind her like a tracking missile. It was as if Long Fei had fired a fighter jet. Quick, quick, quick! A bit faster, or else you'll be turned into a roasted fire dragon. Long Fei's palms also broke out in cold sweat as he watched the people inside the canyon explode the moment they touched the flames and the tens of thousands of ravens on his mouth. This was the tempo of exploding into the sky. Suddenly, Long Fei saw Su Tianlei running wildly not far away. Long Fei moved. Fly lower, I have a way. Fire and ice followed suit. In the blink of an eye, Long Fei had caught up to Su Tianlei and waved at him. Hello, Guild Leader Su, we have met. I have already returned from Dark Peak. You lost. So you're disbanding your Su's mercenary corps. Su Tianlei was so angry that his face turned green, and he cursed. You lunatic! You want me to dissolve the Su's mercenary corps? Stop dreaming. I'll definitely kill you and take revenge for my son. F***CK. He's so unfaithful to his word. Long Fei scolded, and then laughed. Since you do not keep your promise, then I will have to do it myself. Wang Jianshan shouted loudly. Big brother, behind us are a large black mass of fire thunder crows. Su Tianlei turned around and looked and scolded. You dog! I'm not done with you. Suddenly, Su Tianlei held his golden blade and flew into the air, slashing towards Long Fei with his blade. Long Fei's mouth curved upwards and said, You're not done with this, Daddy? I'm not done with you. But I have no time to waste with you right now. Long Fei moved. The speed of his ice and fire increased again as he flew past the walls of the canyon. Moreover, he turned his body and flew close to the ground. It flew above the heads of the Su disciples. At the same time, over 10,000 fire thunder crows rushed out. Rumble, 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 countless casualties. The system beep and Long Fei's mind went berserk again. He went around the bend. Long Fei withdrew his idea and jumped down from the ice flame. At the same time, the ice and fire flew up into the sky and into the clouds, then instantly disappeared as he returned to Long Fei's mount space. Long Fei landed in the canyon. Then, he found a place to hide. You were like a fire in the winter. The raging flames were burning me. Hiding to the side, Su Yin moved his, but according to the rhythm of the system beep. It felt so good. Half an hour later. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, War Chief level 9. He leveled up again. He was just that handsome, just that fast. To be able to raise 2 levels in less than an hour, that was simply too great. After the fire thunder crows exploded, the entire canyon was a mess. Corpses littered everywhere. The Dark Crow King disdainfully said, "Puny human, humph. This is the result of angering my Raven King." A contemptuous tone. Long Fei said in disdain in his heart, "This young master is not doing this to you, otherwise." Sister-in-law 1-/ plus health, strongest upgrade system right. Ancestor, do you think that after breaking through level 1, he will be able to evolve into a 9 secret underworld finches and enter the underworld? Long Fei suddenly asked. Yan Huang Ancestor replied, "That's right." Long Fei muttered, "Let's find a chance to take him in." Chapter 18_8419/2356644. 1 hour later. 1 hour later. Dark Crow King flew back to Dark Peak. The canyon regained its peace. However, this peace was only on the surface under the attack of the Raven King. The survivors were all experts. After confirming that the Raven King had flown away, a demon elder deeply roared. Who was it that attracted the Dark Crow King over? This time, he really did suffer great injuries. The Devil Sect was not strong in the first place, and for this treasure of the God's Devil Ancestor, they had auctioned off more than half of their elite disciples. He had been killed in an instant. I can't even tell the bodies apart. In the dark, Long Fei grinned vulgarly. At this time, another elder of the Devil's Sect walked out and shouted, "This will be better. It will save us a lot of trouble." Xiaqin also walked out and said coldly, "Ghost Elder, aren't you too vicious?" "Umph, little girl, you dare to speak to me like that? Even if your master was here, he wouldn't dare to speak to me like that. You're courting death." Before he could finish, the sky was filled with ghost shadows as the War Emperor realm smashed down with all its strength. What he wanted this time was a one-hit kill. Xiaqin's expression changed slightly. With a cold snort, he said, "Calling you Ghost Elder is saying that is thinking highly of you, you ugly and petty old thing." She suddenly flew up and stood on the cliff. Her right hand moved, and she took out a magic zither. She hugged it and flicked her finger. Buzz, buzz. The demon note was raging. Ghost Elder's heavenly ghost image was continuously being destroyed into powder, while the original body was also forced to retreat. His eyebrows were startled. The old granny's 9 serenities zither? Xiaqin sneered. "It's good that you know this. If you know, go die." This time, she was the first to attack. Grabbing onto the zither strings with 2 fingers of her right hand, she pulled at Ghost Elder, then released. Buzz, buzz, an explosive sound was heard. Ghost Elder's expression changed. He immediately closed his ears, and the War Emperor on his body turned into a ghost as he wielded his axe and chopped down. However, useless. The thick defensive armor of the Ghost King was smashed apart by the zither music. The armor turned into powder, revealing his white bones, but he was still blasted into smithereens. The sound of the zither also weakened quite a bit. Ghost Elder shouted, "You can't kill me with this kind of sound." Is that so? Sietchin revealed a cold smile. She pulled out a string, and the string became a thin sword the size of a needle. Pucci! Sietchin was sent flying and crashed into a rock wall tens of meters away. He coughed out a mouthful of blood, his face pale white. He looked at another place gloomily and said, "Blood refinement scholar." It was also at this moment. Standing beside Ghost Elder was a man dressed in white, who looked like a scholar. The man faced him and sneered, "Sietchin, you're too careless." Ghost Elder laughed proudly and said, "Do you think I would be that easy to kill? It's just for you to see. You have no experience at all, to actually dare to lay your hands on me, huh?" Ghost Elder laughed proudly. At the same time, the two of them attacked Sietchin at the same time. Boom! A huge axe swept out, the immense power directly causing the Ghost Elder and the Blood Refinement Scholar to retreat backwards. A man with a monstrous appearance walked out. Standing beside Sietchin, she said slightly, "Two men bullying a woman. That's not good, right? A freak from the mountain and sea sect. People say, butcher." The expression on the faces of the Blood Refinement Scholar and the Ghost Elder slightly changed. They had absolute confidence in fighting two against one, but if it was a 2v2, they were not very confident. Moreover, this place was not only their four devils, there were also the other experts in the four devils. All of a sudden, the originally tense atmosphere turned into a deadlock. The scholar slightly said, "Is this a good show? I should come out." A Blood Moon sect black deacon was the first to walk out laughing. He looked at a dead body and said, "Inamo, you don't need to hide under my Blood Moon mirror. It's useless." The dead body stood up, smiled, and said, "One day, I will destroy your Blood Moon mirror." Under the Blood Moon mirror, he had nowhere to hide. There were only a dozen or so disciples of the Devil sect left in the previous valley. The losses were heavy. The black deacon said, "Inamo, since it's like this, why aren't you handing the thing over? Do you still want us demons to be bullied? Suffering from the oppression of those sects?" Exactly. The gods' devil ancestors' remnants were originally meant to make us strong and then avenge the old man. What do you mean by this? Do you Inamo own it? Inamo smiled slightly and said, "Divide, completely possible, but how do you want to divide it?" "I want the gods' devil loot." "No, I can't give you the gods' devil loot. Isn't my ghost evil going to be suppressed by your evil sound sect? I want the gods' devil blade. I want the gods' devil blood." There was another argument. Inamo laughed. He knew clearly in his heart that these were the remnants of the gods' devil ancestor, and all these belonged to a single person. The Sea Devil Emperor's crown Prince Huang Wuji, because he had the heavenly demon blood vein in his body. Then the heavenly demon blood vein must be the descendant of the god's devil ancestor. These things belong to him. And here, if, for the god's devil successor to be able to become the supreme devil king of the South Horizon region with his support, he would definitely be the #1 demon. And the most important point, magic box. He couldn't open it either. Only the god's devil successor can open it. No one knew about this, except himself. Thus, he wanted the 8 demonic sects to fight and kill each other. Seeing them arguing until their faces and necks were red, Inamo laughed in his heart. Let's fight. It would be great if the Raven King from before would do it again." Suddenly, the scholar suddenly said, "I have a suggestion." "Speak." Everyone looked at him. The scholar said, "If we continue to argue like this, we won't be able to come to a conclusion even if we argue until next year. If we kill each other, it will only harm the vitality of our demon race. So, I suggest that whoever can find that kid who was standing on top of the ice and fire just now, the god's devil ancestor's treasure, should belong to that person." Everyone shivered. Someone immediately shouted, "That brat lured the Dark Crow King over and killed so many of our disciples. 2 things make one thing. I agree with this suggestion." "I agree." The 8 great sects were all in favor. If not for the treasures of the god's devil ancestor, they would have already made their move against Long Fei. That kid must still be in the canyon. Search carefully. Baidu search. Half afloat immediately. The last few war Emperor realm rankers from the 8 great demon sects were all gathered, searching for Long Fei. In the dark, Long Fei was stupefied. He was originally humming a flame around him, but then he suddenly felt as if a bucket of ice water had been poured over him. He cursed in his heart, F*CKU, F*Cur. Chapter 28_8419/2356645. He had played himself out. He had played himself out. They don't play their cards the way they do. Since all his disciples had died, he should have given it his all. However, but to find him, which devil is this? F*CKU. Long Fei cursed in his heart as he tried to come up with a countermeasure. The remaining dozen or so people, other than a few disciples, were all experts of the War Emperor Realm S, led by the leaders of the 8 great demon sections. No matter how strong he was not a match for the 8 great War Emperor rankers. A head-on clash? The chance of survival is 0. Escape. The energy from ice and fire can't hold on for long, and besides, no matter how fast I am, it is impossible for me to be as fast as a War Emperor ranker. That won't do either. Become a devil? Long Fei's heart trembled. His mouth revealed a wretched smile, and muttered, "This is fine." At the same time, Long Fei said to Xiao Bai via sound transmission, "Xiao Bai, protect them well. If I am caught, do not come out." Finished. Long Fei moved and said, "Enchanted." It was also at this moment. A charred man stood in the darkness with a golden blade in his hand. Su Tianlei. This guy isn't dead yet. However, Long Fei had already entered the bewitching stage. His threads quickly turned blood red, and the demonic qi on his body dissipated. In a short 1 second, he had turned into a demonic. Su Tianlei's eyeball had already disappeared, and the remaining eye of his had turned into a cross eyeball as well. Long Fei's aura was extremely familiar to him, and he shouted loudly, "Lord Shadow Devil, he's here." As soon as he finished, Su Tianlei was also raging to the heavens as he said, "Brat, go and die." Long Fei was already possessed by his devil, and his voice sunk. "Su Tianlei, you bastard, you're courting death." There was still a bit of blood on top of Su Tianlei's head. Long Fei kicked Su Tianlei and sent him flying. "Fuck you." Bam! Su Tianlei was flung out and smashed into the wall. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Su Tianlei for obtaining an experience point. True Chi 200, energy values 10 points. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining magic pill. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 100 spirit stones. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining golden blade. A small explosion. Long Fei didn't have time to be happy because in front of him stood 8 people. An elder of the 8 great demon sects was also an expert of the 8 great war emperors. They stared at him without moving. Long Fei immediately said respectfully, "I pay my respects to the 8 elders. That person tried to sneak attack me and was sent flying with a kick. Isn't this trash, trying to insult my devil sect, just seeking death? My lords, I have dealt with him. Am I too handsome?" At this time, Long Fei was still shamelessly praising himself. However, the 8 of them looked at Long Fei without moving. Inamo also walked over and looked at Long Fei's devil body. His gaze darkened as well, and he stared dumbstruck, his eyes filled with incomparable shock. The more Long Fei thought of himself, the more handsome he was. He was so enchanted with the demon rankers. At this time, Xie muttered, why does he look a little like?" Not waiting for him to finish, the butcher tugged at her and looked at the others. The butcher shouted, "Stay here." At the same time, the 8 of them walked to the other side and started discussing in low voices. "Why is a sky demon? Impossible. God's devil ancestor has fallen for tens of thousands of years. It's impossible for him to be reincarnated as a sky demon. If he were to reincarnate, he would have reincarnated a long time ago. Definitely not. Then, his blood-colored head and aura are unique to the God's devil ancestor, and no one can replicate it. No, he's that kid riding a dragon. My people saw him just now, otherwise they wouldn't have shouted out. Shadow Devil said, but what if he really is the reincarnation of the god's devil ancestor? We are very clear about the power of the god's devil ancestor. If even the gods are afraid of him hiding that power within his body, then, all of a sudden, the experts of the 8 demonic sects began to discuss with each other. At the same time, they weren't sure just how to make a decision. But one thing they were sure of was that Long Fei's outer appearance and aura was exactly the same as the god's devil ancestor. The reincarnation of the god's devil ancestor? In another place, Inamo looked at Long Fei, his eyes trembling a little. He shook his head a few times and then furrowed his brows. He had a very complicated expression on his face, and in the end, couldn't help but ask, "Are you the reincarnation of the god's devil ancestor?" Long Fei looked at Inamo and thought, damn, could it be that my appearance after bedeviling the devil is the same as the god's devil ancestor? This time, this is too much. However, Long Fei looked at Inamo and shook his head. I don't know either. Inmo's expression became even more complicated, and she said, "You don't even know yourself? When did you discover that you were a demon?" Long Fei scratched his head and said naively, "I'm not sure about the specifics, but ever since I could remember, I felt a strange power in my body. An hour later, my grandfather reminded me that I must not awaken this power, definitely not. But afterwards, I couldn't resist and fell into a daze." Mo completely believed it. F*CK. Long Fei had to admire himself, because he felt that he could more and more make up stories. Even if he teleported back that day, he might even be able to become an otaku and live a life by writing novels. A screenwriter is also fine, Inemo thought. That's impossible. The god's devil ancestor's reincarnation can only be one person, but I saw with my own eyes that Huang Wuji from the Sea Devil Emperor has the heavenly demon blood vein. He also has the appearance of a god's devil ancestor. So who exactly is the real god's devil ancestor successor? Could it really be 2 people? Impossible. All of a sudden, Inamo was also a loss. At this time, the 8 demon sect experts walked up with murderous expressions on their faces. Obviously, they had made a decision. The scholars said coldly, "Brat, you are not the reincarnation of the god's devil ancestor. If you're the god's devil ancestor, then you will definitely not kill any demon disciple. So, you must have some sort of magic treasure on you that can change you into this state." The butcher then said, "You should pay the price for killing so many of our demon disciples. What's the point of wasting so much time with him? Kill him." The 8 people stepped forward at the same time. Long Fei tightened his eyebrows and started to act cautiously. These 8 people were clearly here for the treasures. Baidu's sister-in-law, AA half. Floating life, strongest upgrade system if they acknowledged that Long Fei was the reincarnation of a sky demon. Then it would be impossible for them to obtain the treasures of the god's devil ancestor. So, only by killing Long Fei would it be possible for them. The remnants of the god's devil ancestor, they were all godly items. Anyone would covet them. No one could resist temptation. And Amo suddenly took a step forward and said, "Wait. Chapter 38_8419/2356646. Imo's identity was different. Imo's identity was different. He was a descendant of the Heaven Demon sect, and he knew that the magic box could only be opened by the god's devil successor. What if Long Fei was a god's devil successor? What if he had mistakenly killed him? The only chance that the heavenly demon sect had to rise up was lost. He had been searching for Huang Wuji for so many years, believing him to be the Sea Devil Emperor. But now, Long Fei had appeared in front of him after he had been bewitched. He had to be careful. The blood refinement scholar stared at Inemo and said, "What are you waiting for? You don't really think he's the reincarnation of a heavenly demon, do you? Even if he is the reincarnation of the heavenly demon, I must kill him. I must take revenge by killing so many disciples of the blood refinement sect." "You're right. Kill him. The 8 War Emperor rankers shouted at the same time. Right now, they only had the heavenly demon treasures in their hearts, and not the reincarnation of the heavenly demon. Tens of thousands of years had passed. Who still wants to be related to the reincarnation of the sky demon? Inmo's brows sank and said slightly, Black Deacon, don't you have the blood moon mirror? You can take a picture and tell if he's a demon or not. Black Deacon slightly said, The scholar said that even if he is the reincarnation of a sky demon, he would still kill him. Who told him to kill so many demon clan disciples? Humph! Long Fei shouted with a thunderous voice. Do you think you have the face to call yourself a demon? You don't even know what a demon is anymore, right? You're afraid of death. Deceitful, and full of scruples. Is this a demon? In my opinion, they're a group of despicable and sinister villains. No wonder the 8 great demon sects have been trampled on by the orthodox sects for so many years. How can trash like you be able to turn the tides? His voice was filled with arrogance, domineering. At the same time, it was full of demonic chi and the kind of domineering aura that looked down on everything in the world. Since they thought of themselves as God's devil ancestor, then they naturally had to make good use of it. If you want to act tough, you have to act big. The 8 War Emperor rankers were obviously frightened. Their faces turned sinister as they stared at Long Fei and shouted, You do not have the right to judge whether or not we are devils. Exactly. Kill him. An elder of the Blood Sea sect shouted. It was also at this moment. Long Fei moved and shouted in his heart, Second level, without peer. Boom! With a strength of 4 folds the attribute, the demonic chi gushed out unscrupulously. Long Fei moved. With a step, he struck down with his palm. Impudent. Pa! The slap almost caused the Blood Sea sect elder to fall to the ground. The 5-finger marks on his face were clearly visible. This was Long Fei's full power attack. It was also a sneak attack. None of them expected Long Fei to act, so the elders of the Blood Sea sect were hit by Long Fei. Moreover, after Long Fei's slap succeeded, he did not retreat immediately. Instead, he stood in front of Elder Shui Hai and arrogantly said, If you dare to say anything else and kill me, I'll wring your head off. His voice was gloomy and arrogant. In addition to the 4 times attribute, he had also forcefully crushed Elder Hai. So much so that he didn't dare to retaliate after being slapped. The Elder of Blood Sea of the War Emperor realm was actually defeated by Long Fei of the 9th level of the War Chief. The 8 of them were shocked. However, they recovered from the shock in seconds. Because, heavenly demon treasure, Inmo's heart sank even more. I'm afraid only God's devil successor would be able to do such a thing. But if that's the case, without waiting for the 8 to get angry, Inmo said, Everyone, please listen to me. While they were talking, he took out an item from a space ring, a skeleton box like magic box. The magic box was made from a kind of 10,000-year-old ancient wood. It was engraved with a mysterious rune, which was emitting a dense demonic aura. Taking out the magic box, the 8 War Emperor rankers were immediately attracted by it. It also instantly quieted down. Inmo continued, This is the God's Devil ancient case. All of you want to obtain the things inside. It's the same for me, but have you ever thought about why I didn't open a magic box? Because I can't open it either. The 8 of them were shocked. Inmo, didn't you say that you're the only one who knows how to open it? Why can't you open it? Impossible, right? You want to trick us? The butcher's eyes turned vicious as he growled. It's just a box. I don't believe it could be so strong. Get out of the way. Before he could finish his words, the butcher swung his axe at the magic box floating in the air. Buzz! Bam! A stream of dense devil energy came out of the magic box and directly knocked the giant axe out of the butcher's hand. The butcher himself also retreated explosively, smashing into the wall and spitting out a mouthful of blood. Everyone's expression changed drastically. In terms of strength, the butcher was the strongest out of the 8 of them, but when the axe had struck down earlier, it hadn't come in contact with the magic box at all. This magic box is very powerful. The top of the magic box is covered in mysterious runes. These runes release a demonic aura. What exactly is this power? Inimo, the box has always been on your body. What kind of power is this? Mo slightly said, the power of the sky demon. The faces of the 8 people trembled once more. Inimo looked at Long Fei, exhaled, and said, I've told you, I am the only one who knows how to open the devil box. However, I didn't say that I could open the magic box. Don't beat around the bush. If you have something to say, just say it. Exactly. The 8 of them were all very worried. Inimo looked at Long Fei again and said, the God's Devil ancient case can only be opened by God's Devil successor, and only God's Devil successor can use the things inside. God's Devil blood, God's Devil loot, God's Devil blade, and 3 Buddha magic relic. The reason I sent the item to see Devil Emperor is because there is a prince there, and within his body lies the heavenly demon blood vein. I once thought that he was a God's Devil successor, but now... Inimo looked at Long Fei and slowly asked, and who is he? Long Fei's mind flew. As long as God's Devil successor can open the magic box. He knew very well. He was definitely not the God's Devil successor. He had simply been possessed and had become like a heavenly demon. However, Long Fei's heart trembled once more as he thought to himself, I have been bedeviled by the system of enchantment. But could it be? What did the system set me to be the God's Devil successor? In that case, his brain started working again. It was also at this moment. The scholar took a step forward and shouted, it is very simple. You will know if he gives it a try. Yes, let him try. You come here and open it, then you can give us everything inside. Isn't that what God's Devil successor is using? Long Fei smiled slightly. Do you think I'm as stupid as your brain? I opened the box, and you guys killed me. Am I that stupid? No one was an idiot. Although Long Fei wasn't a match for the 8 of them, no one could force him to open the magic box. Floating life. Table of contents. No windows. A plus all of a sudden. The atmosphere was tense again. At this time, the canyon trembled violently, as if 10,000 beasts were running. Inmo's eyes lit up, and she said, they're here. Chapter 48_8419/2356647. What is that sound? What is that sound? Army, who brought him here? The 8 War Emperor Rankers frowned and looked at the people around them. Mo laughed blandly. Someone from the Sea Devil Emperor. This was his reinforcement. This was also why Mo insisted on going through the dark forest. The strength of the Sea Devil Emperor was not weaker than any of the devil sections. He was the only dynasty amongst the demon forces, and furthermore, the Sea Devil Emperor had an expert supporting them from behind. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. In the valley, a group of Demon Rider warriors surrounded them and attacked. The faces of the 8 demon sect elders turned cold. Even in the 8 demon sects, there weren't that many demon soldier warriors, but it was hard not to be shocked that a small dynasty would have so many elite demon cavalry soldiers. Master Inimo, we're here. The leading man jumped down from a demonic bear, looked at the 8 elders of the War Emperor realm, and his face changed slightly as he said, Master Inimo, they're trying to kidnap you? Without waiting for Inmo's reply, the man's voice sank, shouting, kill. Huh. Roar. The demon cavalry roared furiously, and those elite warriors' killing intent soared to the sky. They looked as if they had become abnormally fierce in an instant as waves of surging demon aura pounced on them. The faces of the experts from the 8 War Emperor realm changed once again. These demon soldiers had extremely powerful cultivations, and the devilish intent being released from their bodies was as strong as blades. If it were not for the War Emperor realm, they would not have been able to withstand it. Long Fei's heart sank as well. A dynasty is even more powerful than a sect. Just how did they do it? He thought his own Long family. He also wanted the Long family to become stronger than any sect. However, he didn't know what to do, but now that he saw these devil riders, an idea formed in his mind. The butcher picked up the axe that had been knocked off the ground and placed it on his shoulder. His voice was filled with anger as he shouted, "Did you flatten our 8 great demons?" Courting death, Sietchin pulled on her zither. The moment the demon knights pounced, she would immediately attack. Inamo stepped forward and said, "General Lai, please wait. These people are all from the demon race. If I didn't have their protection just now, I would have already been eaten by the Raven King." There were not many experts in the War Emperor realm itself. If they were to die, the demon forces would be weakened even more. Moreover, Emo needed them too. Liu smiled slightly. "So that's how it is? Then who is he?" His gaze immediately locked on a Long Fei. He was very clear about what had happened in the canyon. The people from the 8 demon sects came for the god's devil ancient case, and it was the same. He had to ensure that the god's devil ancient case could smoothly reach Sea Demon King City. Inmo's brows tightened and immediately said, "This is my follower, who is also the guardian of the god's devil ancient case." "Is that so?" Liu stared at Long Fei, his eyes narrowing slightly, releasing a cold, killing intent, and said coldly, "He seems to be the person who lured the Crow King here, right? Master Inmo, you are His Majesty's esteemed guest. You wouldn't lie to me, right?" Inmo's heart sank. Liu sneered, "Brat, you really are the guardian of the god's devil ancient case." Long Fei looked at Liu's ice-cold expression and said unhappily, "So what if I am? So what if it isn't?" Liu's eyes narrowed as killing intent flashed in his eyes, and he said, "It's you who can live. No, you're going to die soon." "Oh," Long Fei laughed coldly. "Then I'm not. I'd like to see how I die." Roar. An armor? 8_8419/2356648. Long Fei's group of 10 were escorted by several hundred demon soldier warrior out of the dark canyon. Long Fei's group of 10 were escorted by several hundred demon soldier warrior out of the dark canyon. Peace returned to the canyon. Xiao Bai, Li Yuanba, and the rest walked out of the crack in the canyon. Wang Shiyun asked, "What do we do now?" Xiao Bai replied, "To Demon Sea City." Li Yuanba immediately walked out and said, "Then what are we waiting for? Hurry up, boss is still waiting for us to save you." Xiao Bai slightly said, "You guys go first, I'll catch up shortly. I have to gather some brothers first." Li Yuanba looked at Xiao Bai, then said, "Let's go." Without any hesitation, they all rushed in the direction of Sea Demon King City. Half an hour later, the 2 elders landed. 2 elders from the Heaven Demon sect, Guhun, Wild Ghost, here, and also retained the aura of the god's devil ancestor. Guhun said lightly. Wild Ghost looked at the messy surroundings with a hidden lock between his brows and said softly, "Could it be that these 8 great demon sects are trying to snatch the god's devil token S from us? They have been traveling around the world and did not know about the god's devil ancient case." In their eyes, there was only one reason for the battle here: snatch the god's devil token. Guhun's eyes turned cold, and he said in a low voice, "If anyone wants to harm God's devil token, I will immediately kill him. After obtaining the God's devil token, he will be the reincarnation of our God's devil ancestor and the supreme existence of our South Horizon region demon sect. Demon sovereign." Wild Ghost also followed up. "These are the last words that the ancestor left behind when he fell and were passed down from our ancestors as well. If anyone dares to go against us, I'll be the first to take their life." Possessing the god's devil token, he was the Demon King. Only they knew. Not long later, Guhun looked at the exit of the crevice and said, "There's only one place that dark rat can go to. They should have gone to Sea Demon City. That place." The 2 of them looked at each other and frowned. And then, the 2 of them turned into 2 balls of light and sped towards Sea Demon King City. Sea Demon King City, Imperial Palace. In the secret room, Huang Wuji sat with his knees crossed and his face red, as if he was on fire. Not too far away from him stood a red-browed old man. This old man emitted a dense, demonic energy that didn't belong to the demon race of the South Horizon region. His voice was low and deep as he faintly said, "The Crimson Flame Devil Scripture relies on the demon heart in your heart. As long as I continuously break through your demon heart, you will be able to continuously break through. Limitless, you have to remember that the heart of a demon is the foundation of the path of demon. Huang Wuji's expression did not change, but a voice came out from his stomach. Master, I will remember. The forefather nodded slightly and said, when you obtain the god's devil blood, your cultivation will definitely increase by another level. When that time comes, with the power of the Buddha magic relic, you will definitely become the supreme expert of the demon race and become one of the 8 great demon sections. He was very satisfied with this disciple of his. The years of nurturing had not been in vain. Moreover, immediately, the god's devil blood S would be sent over, and Huang Wuji's cultivation would be raised to another level when the time comes to unify the demons in the South Horizon region. As for him, the old man's mouth curved into a strange sneer. 10 days later, Liu sent Mo, the 8 War Emperor Realm Warriors, and Long Fei all to see Demon Royal City. What a strong country. I never thought that there would be such a powerful dynasty in our demon territory. He is not weaker than any of our 8 great demon sections. The 8 War Emperor rankers were all amazed. In these past few years, they had been suppressing and fighting each other, so they didn't care about when such a powerful dynasty had appeared in the demon territory. It was also because they were not paying attention here that Sea Devil Emperor was so powerful. And then again, this was the border of the South Horizon region, and beyond it was the Demon Sea. Where did the Demon Sea lead to? No one knew. Even more so, no one would pay attention to this kind of border area. In a huge plaza of the palace, Liu's voice sunk as he shouted, all of you are here. No one is allowed to move about carelessly. The Devil Rider stood up and shouted. Liu looked at Mo and said, Sir Mo, please follow me into the Imperial Palace to meet His Majesty. I believe that His Majesty will definitely be happy with your arrival. Mo was an esteemed guest of the Sea Devil Emperor, and he and the Emperor of the Sea Devil Emperor were old friends. Mo smiled and said, you guys wait here for me. I will come over later. At that time, the matter regarding the heavenly demon relic will definitely give you an answer. While they were talking, Mo looked at Xiang Longfei and the idea sank. He sent a sound transmission to him. If I don't come out, then I should already be dead. If you can escape, then run. He didn't know why. He had a nagging feeling that something was wrong. He had always thought that Huang Wuji had the heavenly demon blood vein, and that he was the god's devil successor, but now, this feeling was shaken because of Long Fei's appearance. If Huang Wuji wasn't god's devil successor then, it could only be Long Fei. At that time, Sea Devil Emperor would definitely give his all to chase after Long Fei. At that time, I'm afraid. Mo secretly tensed up and said to himself, everything depends on the heaven's will. Long Fei's mind moved. He did not have any expression, because Liu glared at him. Mo and Liu walked into the Ocean Demon Palace. Huang Haitu came over with a face full of smiles and said, Brother Mo, how have you been? Mo was also full of smiles as he said, Big Brother Haitu, I have been safe and sound throughout our journey, so you have to worry about me. Yeah, what are you saying? The last time I received your secret order, I immediately ordered Liu to lead the demon cavalry to wait at Dark Canyon. Luckily, nothing happened to you. Otherwise, I would be feeling guilty for the rest of my life. Huang Haitu pulled Mo's hand, his face full of excitement. At this moment, Huang Wuji also replied respectfully. Uncle Mo. Mo looked at Huang Wuji. The aura being emitted from his body was the aura of a heavenly demon blood vein. His cultivation had become a lot stronger compared to the last time he saw Huang Wuji. How much time had passed? His cultivation had broken through so fast. I'm afraid only the god's devil successor would be able to do that, right? All of a sudden, Mo was conflicted. Who exactly is the god's devil successor? Mo's heart was in chaos. Is it the heavenly demon blood vein? Or is it that brat's heavenly demon appearance? At this moment, he felt as if his shoulders were filled with a heavy weight. Everything in the heavenly demon sect was placed on his shoulders. It was too heavy, and he could barely carry it. Huang Haitu asked, "Mo, did you bring that out?" Mo clenched his teeth. No matter what, this object could only be unraveled by the god's devil successor and was known to him immediately. He said, "According to the treasure map that you gave me, I have brought it out. Equals semi/floating life plus," Huang Haitu said excitedly. "Ha! The heavens have blessed my sea devil emperor, limitless. Why aren't you kowtowing and thanking Uncle Mo?" Huang Wuji knelt down on one knee and said, "Thank you, Uncle Mo." Mo flipped his right hand and took out the god's devil ancient case. Huang Wuji was excited. Chapter 18_8419/2356649. Sea Demon Great Hall. Sea Demon Great Hall. Devil aura shot up high into the sky. Every corner of the hall was filled with thick devil aura. Sky Demon's unique demon chi. Everyone couldn't help but become nervous and feel respect for him. Huang Haitu's face was incomparably excited as he immediately asked, "Brother Mo, how do I remove this god's devil ancient case?" Inside is a heavenly demon relic. What he wanted the most was the heavenly demon heart sutra. As for the god's devil loot, the thing inside, the god's devil blade, was just something he invented to make Mo try his best. However, there was one thing he could be sure of. The ancient box definitely contained God's Devil Blood S and Buddha Magic Relic S. These two things were sacred objects to demons, especially Buddha Magic Relic S. It had to be in the ancient box, because after the Sky Demon had fallen, it immediately disappeared. He couldn't guarantee anything else. Mo did not know that Huang Haitu had lied to him, and replied softly, "I also don't know." As soon as his voice faded, Huang Haitu's expression clearly changed. He stood up from his seat and said, "Brother Mo, what joke are you joking about? How could you not know? The heavenly demon tomb must have taught you how to open the ancient box. Brother Mo, think about it. Limitless is the reincarnation of the Sky Demon. If he obtains the treasure in the ancient box, then he will become the supreme demon, and your achievements will be limitless. You will be bestowed the title of Supreme Master, and you will become the #1 person in the entire history of the demon race." The corner of his eye unconsciously looked towards the darkness at the back. Mo replied, "There is indeed a description in the heavenly demon tomb, but I don't know how to open it. I only know who could open it." Huang Haitu immediately asked, "Who is it?" Mo looked at Huang Wuji and said, "God's devil successor." God's devil successor? Huang Haitu's heart sank. The fists under his sleeves tightened. He could not help but look at Huang Wuji and said, "Limitless is God's devil successor." Mo said, "That's why they risked their lives and entered the demon's tomb, bringing out the god's devil ancient case, so that Limitless could become the supreme expert of the demon race. Limitless. Whether or not you can activate the god's devil ancient case is up to you. I can't help you with this matter. If you can't open it, then you're not a god's devil successor, even if you possess a heavenly demon blood vein." Mo said straightforwardly. Huang Wuji said confidently, "Uncle Mo, don't worry. I am definitely a god's devil successor, and I can definitely open the god's devil ancient case." Finished. He was about to walk up to the ancient box. At this time, Huang Haitu slightly said, "Hold on. Brother Mo, you said that the god's devil successor is the only way to open the ancient box. But if Limitless only has the heavenly demon blood vein and not the god's devil successor, then that means he can't be opened. If that's the case, aren't there no one who can open the heavenly demon relic?" The image of Long Fei appeared in Mo's mind after pondering for a while, just when he wanted to say something. Suddenly, Liu took a step forward and said, "Reporting to your majesty, there's an ancient box guardian in Dark Canyon. According to this subordinate's knowledge, his appearance and appearance are exactly the same as God's devil ancestor." "Oh!" Huang Haitu was immediately shocked and asked, Brother Inamo, is what General Lai said true? Inamo originally wanted to not reveal it, but now he had no choice but to say it out loud. What General Lai said is right. There is indeed a person who looks exactly the same as the god's devil ancestor. It's just that his appearance is similar, and this is a common sight within the demon race. Huang Haida smiled faintly and said, "Limitless, open the magic box." While they were talking, Huang Haida looked at Lai Yu, and the expression in his eyes tightened a little. Lai Yu understood and slowly left the palace. Huang Wuji walked forward and looked at the box. The idea moved, wanting to use the sky demon chi in his body to seep into the box, but at this moment, bam! A dense wave of magic directly sent him flying. Boom! Smashing into the gigantic pillar of the sea demon palace. Huang Wuji spat out a mouthful of blood, his face pale white. He was seriously injured. Inmo's expression also darkened. "You're not God's devil successor." "Ha ha! Ha ha! Ha ha!" Huang Haida laughed wildly and said, "Of course he's not God's devil successor." Huang Wuji stood up with much difficulty, took out a magic pill, and consumed it. Inamo looked at Huang Haida and laughed crazily. His heart sank as an ominous premonition rose in his heart, and he asked, "Brother Haida, Limitless is not God's devil successor. Why are you laughing?" "What?" "Because I have to thank you for sending God's devil successor to my side." Huang Haida's mouth revealed a cold smile, and looking at the confused Inamo, he couldn't help but start laughing, and said, "You probably don't know yet, right? From beginning to end, Limitless never had a sky demon blood vein, and the blood vein in his body was merely a sea demon blood vein. From beginning to end, you were tricked by me, huh?" Inmo's brows sank, looked at Huang Wuji, and said, "Impossible. I have personally examined it myself." Huang Haida laughed. "Are you sure that drop of blood essence is limitless blood? That is indeed heavenly demon blood essence, but that does not mean that it is everlasting's blood essence. If we don't do this, how can you be at ease and go find the heavenly demon relic for us?" The anger in Inmo's heart immediately shot out and said, "Huang Haida, you're too despicable." Not waiting for him to finish, Huang Haida's body moved and suddenly appeared behind Inmo as he sneered, "I'm not despicable. How can I become a demon?" Bam! Both palms shook, directly blowing Inmo away. Without waiting for Inmo to stand up, Huang Haida stepped on Inmo's body again and laughed sinisterly. "Only you were able to enter the ancient demonic graveyard. Without you, how would I have gotten the God's Devil ancient case? What I didn't expect was that you actually brought the God's Devil successor here. Haha." Inmo's eyes turned sinister as he thought to himself, "This is bad." It was also at this time, Inmo roared loudly and said, "Run, Buzz." Just as his voice reached the entrance of the hall, it was blocked by a scarlet energy, and not a single sound could be heard. It was also at this time, the red-browed old man walked out. Inmo's eyes turned sinister, bloodshot as he said solemnly, "Scarlet Soul." "Haha." The old man sneered. "Never thought of that, right? I'm back. The heavenly demon dog chased my ancestor away and chased him for thousands of miles. If my ancestor had not fallen into the sea of demons and survived, there would not have been a single member of my Scarlet Soul tribe. I'm back today. They want to exterminate all the evil sects in the South Horizon region to avenge their deaths. I want the demons left behind by the Sky Demon to pay 1,000 times the price. Wah. Chapter 28_8419/2356650. On the square outside the palace. On the square outside the palace. 10 minutes passed. The scholar slightly said, "Why is he not out yet?" Xiaqin put a hand on Long Fei's shoulder. "Little handsome brother, are you really the reincarnation of a sky demon? Our ancestors and God's devil ancestor are a pair. How about we?" Cluck, cluck, cluck. Xiaqin's large twin peaks rubbed against Long Fei's arms, making them feel numb. In addition to the heart-piercing laughter, no one could resist it. Xiaqin continued to speak. All of us evil sound sectes are beauties with the beauty of a nation. When the time comes, you'll be in our evil sound sect to be romantic and happy for the rest of your life. What do you think? This, no doubt about it. It had always been what Long Fei wanted. Moreover, he had to say it. Xiaqin's clothes were exactly like a zither girl's in a game, hot and spicy. His clothes on his chest seemed to be bursting at the seams. A delicate appearance that could arouse tender affection. However, the ghost elder laughed strangely. Evil Sound Sect did instantly, with groups of beauties, but you can go enjoy it with your life. This supreme beauty of the Evil Sound Sect especially absorbed the yang energy from men. Even the god's devil ancestor back then didn't dare to linger here. Long Fei's heart trembled, and he looked at Xiaqin. Xiaqin's expression changed slightly as he said, "Ghost Elder, you dare to ruin my good plan?" Ghost Elder sneered. "What do you mean by bad news? Which disciple of the devil's sect doesn't know that the evil sound sect's women are the most vicious and specialize in absorbing the yang energy from men's bodies? Is that so?" Long Fei slightly nodded as the corner of his mouth revealed a trace of an evil smile. Xiaqin immediately pretended to be weak and leaned into Long Fei's embrace, saying, "Little handsome brother, don't listen to his nonsense. I truly like you." "Really?" Long Fei asked. Xiaqin nodded his head and said, "It is absolutely true. From the first time I saw you, I had already fallen for you." Long Fei said, "How much do you like it?" Xiaqin said, "If I like it, I'll do anything for you." Long Fei asked, "Anything?" Xiaqin looked at Long Fei's fiery eyes and felt joy in his heart. He thought to himself, "What kind of man can resist my enticement? Moreover, this is only a place." He looked at Long Fei lovingly and said, "Amen." Immediately, Long Fei grabbed her chest. Xiaqin's expression changed. She never thought that Long Fei would be so bold. Moreover, in broad daylight, the other 7 people looked at her, and the surrounding demon cavalry warrior were the same. All of them swallowed their saliva and stared at Xiaqin as if their eyeballs were about to pop out. All of a sudden, Xiaqin's face reddened, and she instantly bounced away from Long Fei. She hurriedly tidied up her clothes and scolded, "Brat, do you want to die?" Not taking advantage of a bastard. Moreover, she was such a ferocious woman, so he shouldn't miss out on her. Long Fei feigned ignorance. "You said it yourself. You are willing to do anything for me. Even touching you twice, you are lying to me." "Humph. I was still thinking of opening the God's Devil ancient case and giving it to the God's Devil loot, but I've changed my mind." "Huh." Xiaqin was startled and immediately regained his composure, leaning on Long Fei with a soft and weak look, and said, "You pinched Lin Luan's house just now." Long Fei pretended to be disdainful and said, "I didn't use any strength just now. Stop lying to me. I really didn't lie to you. If you don't believe me, keep touching." Xiaqin was ready to throw caution to the wind. Long Fei was just a teenager. How could he have any playthings? However, she didn't understand Long Fei at all. Long Fei's personality towards women was, if you gave him a pole, he would immediately climb up. The moment Xiaqin's words fell, Long Fei kept reaching his hands directly into her clothes. The 7 war emperor rankers in the surroundings, along with the hundreds of demon soldiers in the surroundings, all of them were prostrating themselves in admiration of Long Fei. So awesome. Xiaqin was about to cry. The more she comes along, the more you feel like you've been fooled, but he still didn't know how to exit. "I can't bear to have a child with a wolf." He was going to throw caution to the wind. At this moment, one of the guards walked into the hall and said, "The God's Devil ancient case has been undone. Please enter the hall and take a look, guardians of the ancient boxes." "It's been solved." Xiaqin was the first to react. Her 2 eyes were unmoving as they looked at Long Fei. Her face was pale white, as if her eyes were about to spit out fire. He even had the heart to eat people. He stared at Long Fei and said, "Try touching it again." He fiercely pinched them, causing his hands to feel extremely good. Long Fei played dumb. "Didn't you like me? I like you too. I will kill you." Xie was completely furious. At this moment, Long Fei used a bit of force. Crash! Xie clothes were pulled down, revealing his chest. Long Fei immediately shouted, "It's so big! Quickly come take a look!" While they were talking, Long Fei had already ran out. Xie was furious. He almost wanted to suck Long Fei dry. The killing intent in his heart had never been so strong. Too cheap. Invincible. The blood-refining scholar smiled. Stealing a chicken will cause one to lose rice. Xie never thought that you would wear such a sexy outfit. Ha ha. Xie face paled again. The guard reminded them once more, "Please hurry." Everyone calmed down. Xie stared at Long Fei and said, "I will deal with you when I become strong to the extent of being a god's devil loot." All of their attention was focused on the god's devil ancient case. Long Fei's heart sank. From the moment Lai Yu had walked out of the hall to the moment the guards had summoned him, he had a bad feeling. Inmo once told me that if he didn't come out, we should escape. I'm afraid. Xie immediately said in disdain, "Brat, now that you're not God's devil successor, your little life is not safe. Don't worry, Big Sis will definitely protect you. I will definitely bring you to Evil Sound Sect, and let my junior sister apprentice have a taste of this fresh meat of yours." Black Deacon also sneered, "Coward. Something that doesn't exist." No one listened to him. Long Fei hesitated for a moment and followed after. He also wanted to know what exactly the God's Devil ancient case were. Was it really, as the rumors said, magic Buddhist relics? The 4 treasures of God's Devil Blade, God's Devil Loot, and God's Devil Blood? He knew there was danger. However, wealth comes from danger. No matter what, he had to go and take a look. As the 9 of them walked into the Sea Demon Palace, the demon cavalry warrior-s in the plaza uniformly surrounded them, blocking off the entrance to the main hall. The moment Long Fei entered the great hall, his heart sank. The entire hall was filled with an incomparably thick killing intent. Inmo was even more so on the verge of death. Chapter 3-8-8419/2356651. Killing intent surged. Killing intent surged. The God's Devil ancient case was still floating in the air and had not been activated. Bam! The main door of the hall was closed. A thick wave of energy locked the door. Huang Haitu sneered, "Welcome, elders of the Devil Sect." The blood refinement scholar frowned. "Huang Haitu, what do you mean by this?" The butcher weighed the giant axe in his hand and disdainfully said, "A mere empire wants to oppose our 8 great demon sects. Didn't they say that the God's Devil ancient case has opened? What exactly is the situation with Huang Haitu?" The 8 elders of the war, Emperor Rel frowned. Huang Haitu smiled lightly and said, "You're right, the God's Devil ancient case is indeed open, but I need that kid to activate it." As soon as he finished, Huang Haitu stared at Long Fei and laughed. "It's really the same." Everyone looked at Xiang Longfei. Xie said in a low voice, "Are you really God's devil successor?" Long Fei shook his head and laughed. "Guess." He cursed in his heart. What the F***CK is this? Did the system really set me as the God's devil successor? There's no reason. The system did not have any prompts. What was going on? However, seeing Inmo being injured, and how the God's Devil ancient case had not been opened yet, seeing that Huang Wuji was not able to open the God's Devil ancient case, he was definitely not God's Devil successor. If that was the case, Long Fei smiled lightly. "That's right, I am God's Devil successor." When the demon apostles see this sovereign, why aren't they quickly kneeling? Long Fei's arrogant tone resounded in the hall, but none of them knelt down. Huang Haida laughed sinisterly. "It's good that you're God's Devil successor. Hurry up and open the God's Devil ancient case for me. This is your only chance to live." Long Fei coldly snorted and said, "Do you want to kill me?" Huang Haita said, "If you were as obedient as a dog, I would naturally not have killed you." Ha ha ha! As his laughter faded, a malevolent look appeared between Huang Haitu's brows, and he shouted, "But if you don't listen to me, then don't even think of leaving this place alive today. Inemo said with great difficulty. Run, run quickly, you guys run quickly. Before he could finish, Huang Haitu walked forward with sunken eyes. The demonic chi on his body rushed forth like a monster. You're courting death. Boom! Inmo's body exploded. Dead. Everyone's faces changed slightly. Long Fei's heart also sunk as he thought. This Sea Devil Emperor is much stronger than I imagined. Huang Haitu said, Run? From the moment you entered the Great Hall, your lives no longer belong to you. Very arrogant. He was also very confident. Long Fei said, I have 8 elders from the demon sect. All of them are War Emperor warriors. I do not believe that they will not be able to break out with their strength. Humph. What, 8 Devil Sect elders and War Emperor warriors? Ah-ha-ha. The red-browed old man walked out. The expressions of the 8 Devil Sect elders immediately changed. Remnant of the Scarlet Soul. They all knew. During the God's Devil Ancestor period, there was another incomparably powerful devil race, the Scarlet Soul tribe. It was just that they were chased out of the South Horizon region by the God's Devil Ancestor and pursued for thousands of miles. Who would have thought that after 10,000 years, the people from the Scarlet Soul tribe would return? Moreover, such a powerful dynasty was also established. In the beginning, the 8 of them did not place the Sea Devil Emperor in their eyes, but now, Long Fei asked in a low voice, And who are the people from the Scarlet Soul clan? Although Xie hated Long Fei, he still started to speak in a bland voice. The Scarlet Soul clan is born with cruelty, but they are also born with beast trainer-s. Now we finally know that an empire has so many devil riders and warrior-s. So it turns out that they are members of the Scarlet Soul clan. The Scarlet Soul clan possessed absolute control over the soul of Demon Beast. Their beast mastery was the strongest beast mastery in the entire South Horizon region, an existence unmatched by anyone. Huang Haitu laughed coldly. That's right. We are from the Scarlet Soul clan. Do you still think that we can rush out? Ha! Everyone looked at each other. They all knew that their ancestors had taken part in the hunt for the Scarlet Soul tribe. This time, the Scarlet Soul tribe would definitely retaliate in a frenzied manner. If he didn't let the 8 demonic sects know of this matter as soon as possible, it was possible that in the future, although the 8 of them could not accept it, they were, after all, disciples of the Devil sect. Just when they wanted to make a move, Long Fei took a step forward and said, I'll open the magic box. I can't open it. Xie immediately said, You are God's devil successor. If you open the magic box and let them obtain the heavenly demon's inheritance, then you will be helping the evil. The scholars said, You can't open it. I can't open it. The 8 of them were trying to dissuade Long Fei. Opening the God's Devil Ancient case would only make the Red Spirit race stronger. The situation for the 8 great demon sects would become even more dangerous. Humph! Suddenly, a cold snort rang out. The red-browed elder released a powerful pressure and said coldly, You are the only trash here? All 8 of them felt their hearts sink. His face went pale. Long Fei looked through the system, and his heartbeat grew even faster. Oh my God, what a dazzling golden light. Patriarch Scarlet Sowl's entire body began to radiate brilliant light, which was incredibly dazzling to the eyes. The boss's halo was too dazzling. He had to kill this boss no matter what. He couldn't let this quest go to waste. The escort mission continued. This old man should be the crux of the mission. He must be killed, or else. This S-rank quest was a waste. Also, if the boss wanted to kill, the God's Devil Ancient case had to be strong too. No matter if he was God's Devil successor or not, the box must have something good in it. There must be a way to open the box in his hand. Not to mention, there was still a Yin Huang ancestor beside him. Immediately, Long Fei revealed a respectful smile. Ancestor Qi Han has ruled the demon race for thousands of years. I am different from them. If I want to live, I will open the magic box for you. Ha ha! The Scarlet Soul old man laughed out wildly and said, Not bad. You're quite tactful. Huh? Sky Demon, your descendant is this kind of trash, huh? The Scarlet Soul tribe was the last one to laugh. The scholar scolded, "Boy, are you crazy? He has no backbone at all. Why would the god's devil ancestor reincarnate into someone like you? This is too disappointing. A waste who sells for glory." The 8 elders cursed wildly. Long Fei said with a face full of smiles, "Didn't you want to kill me in the beginning? I don't want to die. We'll see. I'm different from you. If you want to die, I don't want to die with you. What does the god's devil ancestor count as? The Scarlet Soul race is the genuine devil race." Long Fei said loudly. Huang Haitu, Huang Wuji, the Scarlet Soul old man, was extremely pleased with himself. He also did not stop Long Fei from walking towards the devil box. Long Fei walked in front of the box and looked at the simple and unadorned box. The corner of his mouth lifted into a cold smile, and with a swing of his sleeve, he kept the box back into the space ring. Then, his right hand grabbed out a handful of dragon saluress and bellowed, "Break open the door." Chapter 4. Table of Contents 8_8419/2356652. His voice also echoed in the air. His voice also echoed in the air. The butcher unleashed all of his strength, all of his war emperor. Waving his giant axe with all his might, he jumped up and slashed down. Rumble, rumble. The entire palace was shaking. It was too fast. Even the old man, Red Soul, couldn't react in time. Wasn't the plot turning a little too fast? Wasn't Long Fei just selling the owner for honor? Didn't the 8 elders look down on Long Fei? Why did they unite at once? When the 8 elders were cursing Long Fei had already told them about the plan through sound transmission, and the 8 of them had instantly agreed to it. No matter what, God's devil ancient case were not to be found by the Scarlet Soul clansmen. This was their bottom line. Long Fei was much simpler. If he wanted to steal the treasures, kill the boss, and kill the demon soldier warrior outside, he had to kill them. Boom! The door burst open. The aura of the Butcher War Emperor was as violent as thunder. It smashed outwards with a bang and directly crushed a few Demon Rider warriors to the point of them vomiting blood. At the same time, he also smashed down with his axe, creating a path. The Blood Refinement Scholar and Xie landed beside Long Fei and protected him. He has God's devil ancient case on him now, and in their hearts, Long Fei was still a God's devil successor. He had to protect it well. The old man's anger soared to the heavens. "You are courting death." Huang Haida roared, "Stop them." Long Fei rushed out quickly, took out the Thunder Dragon rod, rushed to the door and shouted, "Thunder Dragon is angry." The power of thunder rolled out. Countless bolts of lightning violently struck down. Boom, boom, boom. They exploded. It didn't kill that many people, but a large number of Demon Soldier Warrior only received a little bit of damage. That was enough to receive damage. This was exactly what Long Fei wanted. These were all experience points. Xie took the 9 Serenity's zither in his hand, and with a flick of his finger, the sound of the zither became like a devil, crazily entering the minds of the Devil Cavalry Warrior immediately. The Demon Soldier Warrior laughed out loud, and then he coughed out blood. Ding! Congratulations, player Long Fei, for defeating Demon Cavalry Warrior, for obtaining an experience point. True Chi 300 points, energy values 10 points, and points 10 points. Ding! Congratulations, player Long Fei, for defeating Demon Cavalry Warrior, for obtaining an experience point. True Chi 300 points, energy values 10 points, and points 10 points. Ding! The system exploded. Ghost Elder immediately condensed 10 wraiths to crazily kill. With each hit of the steel, the Blood Refiner ruthlessly killed all of them. Black Deacon's Blood Moon Mirror. The 8 War Emperor rankers were like Long Fei's pet babies, crazily killing them. All of their experiences were obtained by Long Fei alone. Long Fei's heart boiled. This tempo is too great. Experience exploded. True Chi went berserk. His points were also soaring. In the blink of an eye, the crowd rushed out of the hall and into the square. It was also at this time. Swish, swish, swish. 3 streaks of light flew out from the main hall. Huang Haitu's forehead turned sinister. The demonic qi on his body surged like a great river. His figure materialized, and both of his palms struck down. Boom! The mountain and sea-sex butcher was sent tumbling backward, 2 black palm marks appearing on his chest, and he coughed up a mouthful of blood. The old man also made his move. 2 consecutive attacks. Bang, bang. The 2 elders were severely injured. The 8 of them were all at the first level of War Emperor. Huang Haitu was at the second level of War Emperor, and the Scarlet Soul Elder was even more so. Level 1, Level 1. The difference in strength was like the difference between heaven and earth for an extra-grade of cultivation base. This gap in cultivation was becoming more and more apparent the further one went. You overestimate yourself. The old man sneered and said solemnly, "Your trash, the devil sect, should have disappeared from this world a long time ago. What have you done with your trash in the South Horizon region? He's been crushed by the sect until he can't even breathe. Are you even worthy of being called a demon? I think it's a bunch of lowly rats. How ridiculous! Today, I will let the Scarlet Soul tribe take over your place. I will have the Scarlet Soul Devil Flame burn every corner of the South Horizon region." As soon as his voice faded, his aura was like a massive wave crashing down from the heavens. Bam! 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 The 3 elders who had blocked the attack were all sent flying, spitting out mouthfuls of blood. The moment the scholar fell to the ground, the old man with the crimson soul on top of his head said, "Go to hell." His right foot shook. Boom! With a loud sound, the scholar's head exploded under the pressure. All of his profound qi was absorbed by the old man. The blood refinement scholar had died. Ghost Elder shouted, "Scholar!" Without waiting for him to rush forward, Huang Haitu made his move in an instant and pierced through his heart. Ghost Elder dead. After the 2 War Emperor Realmas were killed, the encirclement that was originally broken through once again surrounded the remaining 7 people and placed them in the center of the plaza. Humph! A bunch of trash. The old man disdainfully sneered and said, "Sky Devil, these are the lowly clansmen that you left behind. They're all a bunch of trash. Ha ha! Back then, you massacred my Scarlet Soul tribe. From today onwards, my Scarlet Soul tribe will massacre your entire sect. Ha ha!" The old man laughed maniacally. Xiaqin frowned and said softly, "Open a path for him and let him escape. He is the reincarnation of the god's devil ancestor and the hope of our demon sect. Nothing must happen." Finished. Xiaqin grabbed Long Fei and said, "I don't care if you were previously the reincarnation of the sky demon or not, but from this moment onwards, you are the god's devil successor, and you are the supreme expert of our demon race. Kid, no matter what, you have to survive. You have to lead the 8 great demon sects and exterminate all of the Scarlet Souls." Finished. Without waiting for Long Fei's response, she grabbed him and threw him out of the encirclement. It was also at this time Xiaqin and the other 6 immediately rushed towards the Scarlet Soul Old Man and Huang Haitu. The Scarlet Soul Old Man's expression tensed up. He wanted to kill Long Fei, but he was instantly entangled, and it was impossible for him to kill the 4 War Emperor Realm experts in an instant. Huang Haitu also could not get away. At this time, Scarlet Soul Old Man suddenly shouted, "Limitless, stop that trash." Huang Wuji moved. The long sword was terrified. At this time, in the air, Long Fei did not wait for Huang Wuji's sword to pierce him, and his eyes turned sinister. Moonlit step. Shwa! He flew in the air, and with a step forward, his right hand grabbed out, and the demon qi on his body fused into the dragon's salure, releasing its dense, killing intent. Soaring sky, Long Fei looked at Huang Wuji, who had flown up into the air, and said with a grin, "You saved me 7 moves of dragon slaying. Dragon chop. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Asterisk for 110 cuts." Boom! Huang Wuji was instantly sliced into pieces, his flesh dropping down from the sky, his HP directly reaching the bottom. Instant kill. At the same time, Long Fei did not fly away. Instead, He landed back in the encirclement. Xiaqin's expression tightened and said, "Why aren't you leaving?" The corner of Long Fei's mouth drew back, revealing the cold smile of a death god, and said, "The ones who are leaving are them." At this moment, sister-in-law 1-/+ health, strongest upgrade system Li Yuanba came. Arhut came. Xiao Bai's demon wolf army had also come. Chapter 5. Happy New Year. The sea for everyone New Year. I wish you a happy family. A new year. Fire explosion. 8_8419/2356653. It's here. It's here. They were all here. Even if they didn't come, Long Fei never thought of escaping. This time he wanted to kill. Boom! Huang Wuji's body fell and landed at Huang Haida's feet. The infernal Queen Long Fei carried the dragon salyer on her shoulder and said with a cold smile, "Since I have come, I never thought of leaving." Xiaqin immediately protected Long Fei behind him, blaming him. "What are you trying to do? Why didn't you run away?" Long Fei smiled and said, "The ones who are leaving are them." "Ah, limitless." Huang Haida bellowed, "I'm going to kill you." The aura on Huang Haitu exploded, and he was instantly crushed. At this time, the butcher crawled up from the ground, his loud voice stopping Long Fei in front of him. He lowered his body and steadied his horse. He shouted, "Ah!" Boom! The butcher was sent flying by the powerful impact. He spat out a mouthful of blood, looked at Long Fei, and said with difficulty, "Live, you must live." As soon as he finished, with a flip of his eyes, he became lifeless. He died. Xiaqin shouted, "Butcher!" Long Fei was also extremely furious. Even though these 8 people had always wanted his life, in the end, they had protected the dignity of the demon race. For the sake of dying one by one, Long Fei was upset. If he was unhappy, then he had to kill. Boom! Long Fei's body exploded as he rushed out. However, before he could rush out, he was stopped by an elder who shouted, "Come back here. If you want to fight with your life on the line, it's not your turn. Take revenge for the butcher. Avenge the scholar." Up. The remaining 5 people rushed forward together to attack Huang Wuji with all their might. The pain of Huang Wuji losing his son completely enraged him as he crazily killed him. Long Fei was pierced by a pair of cold eyes. Old Man Red Soul. After Huang Wuji was killed, he had not moved from his original position, and his 2 eyes were staring straight at Long Fei, looking gloomy. Her gaze was like a sharp blade that penetrated Long Fei's mind. Huang Wuji, he cultivated for 10 years. However, killed in one move. This was the greatest insult to him. The anger in his heart was ignited. Moreover, there was one more point. He now thought that Long Fei was a god's devil successor, because only a god's devil successor could do such a thing. Thus, in that instant, Wang, the Scarlet Soul Elder's figure disappeared and landed in front of Long Fei. "God's devil successor? I want you to become a sky demon dead." Boom, boom. With 2 palms thrown out, Long Fei basically had no time to react at all. It was too fast. It was so fast that his idea could not react, much less his body's reaction. Long Fei flew 100 meters with blood hanging from the corner of his mouth. Without waiting for him to land on the ground, the Red Soul Elder had already caught up with him and struck him with 2 palms. Boom, boom. The ground cracked. Long Fei fell into the deep pit with an incomparably pale face. His internal organs felt as if they were overturned rivers and seas, and felt extremely uncomfortable. The suppression of his cultivation level was too strong. He was not his opponent at all. "Kill my disciple, the reincarnation of the sky demon." "Humph! Today, I will kill the reincarnation of your heavenly demon. I want to see just how you could do that." The South Horizon region is the world of my Scarlet Soul clan. The Scarlet Soul Old Man roared. Floating in midair, he looked down at Long Fei, who was in the deep pit, with disdain and laughed coldly. "You can't even take a single blow. Die!" Long Fei's heart skipped a beat. The pressure of the Level 3 War Emperor was simply too terrifying. It was as if a huge mountain was pressing down on Long Fei's body, preventing him from moving at all. This feeling of being crushed was simply too unbearable. He watched as Patriarch Scarlet's spirit exploded, locking onto his head. If this palm attack landed, he would definitely die. Brat! A sharp sound rang out. With a flick of the zither, 2 sonic attacks that were like half a month's worth of time swept out. Siachin also pounced forward like lightning. Boom! Siachin blocked the Scarlet Soul Elder's palms with her body in the air. She looked at Long Fei and said with a faint smile, "Live on, you must live on." A large mouthful of blood sprayed out. "You're courting death." The old man's palms struck once again, hitting the 9 Serenity's zither with a palm. Boom! The strings of a zither were all broken, and the zither body was also broken. Siachin's body sank and was smashed down. The difference between the power of a War Emperor Level 1 and a Level 3 War Emperor Level 1 was like heaven and earth. Boom! Siachin laid on top of Long Fei's body, and at the same time destroyed the suppression that the old man had towards Long Fei. Looking at Long Fei, Siachin said with a gentle smile, "Actually, you are actually quite handsome. If I could have been a few years younger, I would have definitely been charmed by you. What a pity." Cough, cough, cough. While they were talking, Siachin continuously spurted blood from his mouth. Long Fei hugged Siachin, tightly hugged onto him, and heavily said, "Don't die, don't die. Patriarch, can you save her? I'm begging you." For some reason, Long Fei's heart ached. The Devil Sect elders behind him fell one by one, and the 8 experts of the War Emperor realm all fell just like that, dying because of him. Not to mention, they didn't know that Long Fei wasn't God's devil successor at all. Long Fei didn't even know it himself. However, in the end, they had all placed Long Fei in the presence of the God's devil successor, in the presence of the demon's hopes, and for that sake, they had paid the price of their lives. Long Fei's heart was very, very heavy. It was painful, very painful. With a slight movement of the Yin Huang ancestor, a wave of yellow flame chi floated into Siachin's body. Yin Huang ancestor said, "I have already protected the heart meridian, so I can temporarily keep her alive for 3 days. I have to heal her within 3 days. If not, even if it would be useless if the great firmament deity came." Long Fei replied heavily, "Thank you." Yin Huang ancestor slightly said, "Brat, I am not in a good mood too this time. I will do my best to help you kill him." "No need." Long Fei still refused. "I need to rely on my own strength. If you want to grow, you can't have any dependence on it. Otherwise, you won't be able to grow again for the rest of your life." Compared to Hong Tianjun, the Scarlet Soul Old Man was much weaker. "Rumble! Rumble! Boss, we're here!" Li Yuanba continued to kill the demon cavalry warrior with his bare hands, and the Arhut did the same. Xiao Bai's demon wolf legion retaliated crazily. Long Fei slowly stood up. He stared at the Scarlet Soul Old Man in the air and said, "If I don't overturn you today, I will take your surname." As soon as he finished, Long Fei shook violently and bellowed, "Yuan Ba." Li Yuanba suddenly stopped, put down the Xian Shun sarcophagus on his back, and roared, "Enough!" Boom! Buzz, buzz, buzz. The Xian Shun sarcophagus trembled nonstop. Suddenly, Baidu's sister-in-law, A half. Floating life, strongest upgrade system, a flying sword shot through the clouds and landed on Long Fei's palm. It was a sword that looked like a mace. The blade was densely packed with things that were hard like spikes. Long Fei also rose into the air. The idea moved, 2nd level, Wushuang. Happy New Year! 8_8419/2356654. Buzz! Buzz! His attributes were increased by 4 times. The aura on Long Fei's body became abnormally thick, and his entire body could float in the air without any of his energy support. He stared at Patriarch Red Soul. It was also at this time. Li Yuanba hesitated for a moment, but still asked, "Boss, can I use Raging Thunder?" "Sure. Same old rules, cripple them all. Wait for me to harvest." Long Fei warned her. He needed this experience. Li Yuanba laughed. Understood. Then, he immediately took out the raging thunder, and the aura on Li Yuanba's body instantly changed as well. Like a demon god of war, he wielded the twin hammers in his hands and began to wildly kill. However, Arhut was dumbfounded. The King Kong exorcism wand behind him began to tremble even more violently. Long Fei was a devil. He never thought of this. Now, even Li Yuanba was a demon. What kind of situation was this? All of a sudden, his heart began to beat faster. He was the reincarnation of the Holy Buddha, the venerable demon fighter, but now he was in a dilemma. How could he choose? Difficult. It was very difficult. Long Fei wanted to explain something, but no matter how much he explained, it would be useless. Everything would be decided by Arhut. He believed that Arhut would definitely do as he wished. More importantly, right now, he didn't have the heart to explain anything. His goal now was to kill this old man. The Red Soul old man coldly said with contempt, "You pieces of trash? Ha ha, brat. Even if you're a god's devil successor, what can you do? You are only a trash at the 9th stage of the war chief." Not waiting for him to finish, Long Fei's figure disappeared. Shua! Shocking sword spirit. Boom! With a sword attack, the sky split open, and a gigantic sword shadow attacked down vertically with an earth-shattering power. Without waiting for the huge sword strike down, Long Fei had already unleashed his second sword strike. Next, the 3rd slash, the 4th slash, the 10th slash, 20th slash, 30th slash, the 38th slash. He only had the true chi from 38 to 37 points, and could only use 38 strikes. His sword was getting fiercer and fiercer. The damage of each strike was higher than the previous one. It was ridiculously high. The 38 sword strikes did not even take a 10th of a second to completely release the Sword Saint's Legacy's sword intent. One sword and one sword strike stab at the body of the Scarlet Soul old man, greater than sign. Looking at the bright red damage floating above his head, Long Fei was secretly shocked. This is the defense of a level 3 war Emperor Rancor. Terrifying. When he killed Wu Haoqian, the damage he received from the Holy Sword 81 moves could reach over 1 million. But now, none of the 38 strikes reached his 100,000 points. Too terrifying. The difference in physical defense between the two was extremely terrifying. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, a bright red number floated up above Elder Red Soul's head. Boom! The old man was enraged, and all the power in his body exploded out. After the 38 slashes, there was still a large chunk of blood left in the groove above his head. It still won't work. Long Fei's heart skipped a beat. Before he could react, the old man in red frowned. Soul-splitting palm. Boy, dangerous. The Yin Huang ancestor did not care about whether Long Fei agreed or not, as a wave of yellow flame immediately protected his mind and his sea of consciousness. At this moment, boom, the old man directly sent him flying into the pile of people. Bang, bang, bang. Long Fei's body exploded outwards, landing in the middle of the demon cavalry warrior's slaughtering punch. Blood dripped from the corner of Old Man Red Soul's mouth as he shouted, "Break for me!" Crack! A strand of energy rushed into Long Fei's sea of consciousness and became sinister, as though Long Fei was training in toting skills grand strangling, and immediately grabbed onto Long Fei's soul. Explode. Boom! Long Fei's sea of consciousness shook, and immediately killing the Scarlet Soul power in his body. The power of the Yin Huang ancestor. If not for his power, Long Fei's soul would have already been killed. The most powerful aspect of the Scarlet Soul clan was soul power attacks. An attack on the soul. Long Fei climbed up from the ground with much difficulty and almost had blood flowing from the corner of his mouth. He looked at the Scarlet Spirit Elder in the sky and cursed, "Damn it! Heavenly Demon Heart Sutra. Release. Swish, swish. Swish, swish, swish." Heavenly Demon Heart Sutra. After being released, one would be able to transform demonic energy into true chi, and the surrounding area would be filled with demons, as they could directly transform this demonic energy into long phase true chi after absorbing it. Boom! In just a second, all the true chi was fully replenished, a fully filled true chi. 387,000 points. However, the damage of the Holy Sword, 81 moves, was not enough to kill the Scarlet Soul Old Man. It would be very difficult to kill this old man. Very difficult. 38 strikes, 305,000 points of 100,000 points. Before that happens, I still need to take down 5 million of his damage. 5 million points of damage. Long Fei's heart tensed up. His mind was frantically thinking. Just as he was thinking, the Scarlet Soul Old Man's face was extremely gloomy because Long Fei was still alive. Because his soul-splitting palm did not harm Long Fei at all. Why was it like that? Kid, who the hell are you? Even if you were a god's devil successor, you won't be able to live after being hit by my splitting soul palm. Scarlet Soul Old Man's face was filled with questions. Suddenly, Long Fei looked at the surrounding demon soldier warrior, then activated the idea and linked it to Xiao Bai, saying, Xiao Bai, kill all of these demon soldier warrior-s for me. Ice and fire. Get out. Boom. A huge dragon made of ice and fire flew out. Flame spewed out. Ice sword spewed out. Long Fei wielded his sword in one hand. With the other hand tightly holding onto the dragon's salure, he crazily slashed at the devil cavalry warrior. Experience, experience. I need experience. I need to level up again. Bam, bam, ding, ding. Notifications kept ringing. A devil rider warrior meant 20,000 experience. 3,000 true chi-s. What he needed now was experience and true chi. And amp. 8_8419/2356655. Sea Devil Emperor. Why was it called Sea Devil Emperor? Sea Devil Emperor. Why was it called Sea Devil Emperor? Because this place was close to the sea. Moreover, deep beneath Sea Demon City was the sea, and below the plaza was a 100-year-old sea demon, also known as the Sea Demon, being controlled by the Scarlet Soul tribe. They had been imprisoned deep under the sea. Now, it was about to be released. His aura is too strong. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The earth trembled. The square suddenly collapsed. A tentacle broke through the ground, and the seawater poured into it. Next, another tentacle broke through the ground. Huang Haita bellowed, Demon Cavalry Warrior, retreat. Boom, boom, boom. The Demon Cavalry Warrior retreated frantically. Long Fei's brows tightened. The ground was trembling, and his face was pale. What exactly is this thing? Rumble. A prehistoric monster was exposed its body. It was a giant octopus. The entire plaza was occupied by it. Thousands of tentacles constantly swept over it. The old man then moved to the sky and stood on top of the octopus's head. He laughed sinisterly. You dog, don't you like to kill? Let's kill them again. Schwa. The tentacle moved. It directly sent a large group of demon wolves flying. The other tentacle swept across and sent all of them flying. Chief, this sea monster is too strong. We are not its match. Leader, retreat. The difference is simply too great. Chief, we can't hold on any longer. The demon wolf's voice sounded in Xiao Bai's mind, one after another. These demon wolves were no match for him. Xiao Bai frowned, then said, All of you, retreat and leave the imperial city. Boss, go and do your thing. Leave this guy to me. Long Fei asked, Xiao Bai, can you do it? Xiao Bai grinned and said, I've never done it this way before. Immediately, Long Fei said to Li Yuanba, Continue crippling those demon knight warrior. Li Yuanba nodded and said, Understood. Roar. Xiao Bai's body became 3 meters tall and became a giant wolf. The might of the divine beast on his body was released, revealing 2 sharp fangs. He said solemnly, Ugly thing, you still dare to be arrogant in front of this wolf grandpa? Boom! The aura in his body exploded forth. A huge ray of Xuan Bai light shot out. At the same time, Xiao Bai turned into a white shadow and charged out at the same time. Roar. The old man was slightly shocked. I didn't expect it to be a divine beast. What a pity. Unfortunately, your divine beast realm is too low. Just like that. Too weak. His idea connected with the giant octopus, and the octopus faced the dazzling shockwave. Its two tentacles towered in the sky and ferociously smashed down. Crack! The two tentacles were cut off. Xiaobai laughed coldly. Who's so weak? However, without waiting for him to finish rejoicing, the two severed tentacles grew out and bombarded him down with even more ferocity than before. Rumble. Crack. It was like a black lightning striking down horizontally. The old man disdainfully said, "You little bastard." Rumble. Xiaobai's body was swept away. At this moment, fire and ice filled the sky and rained down like crazy. Several tentacles of the octopus shot up into the sky. Ice and fire were like a fighter jet, crazily dodging and attacking at the same time. Xiaobai's body suddenly shrunk, and he hid the presence on his body. The white shadow kept moving, looking for the octopus's weakness. This guy had killed one tentacle, but it would only give birth to another. No matter how he killed it, it would be useless. Suddenly, Xiaobai stared at Hai Shui, who was lying on the ground, and frowned. He's a sea demon. He has to have water. If there's no water, definitely die. Xiaobai sneered in his heart. Let's see you survive this. Every time the octopus attacked, it would bring the seawater with it into the sky. He definitely needed the seawater to revive him and survive. Ice and fire, Xiaobai shouted loudly. Bing was said, "Brother Xiaobai, what's wrong?" Xiaobai shouted. "Can you absorb all of this seawater?" Bing Hua looked at the seawater on the ground and said, "No problem." "All right, listen to my instructions. This guy should be regenerating from a sea." Xiaobai said. Ice and fire said, "Understood." As soon as he finished, ice and fire suddenly swooped down. Thousands of tentacles attacked them like a huge lightning field. Ice and fire flew at their limits. Absorb all his seawater. As soon as Xiaobai finished his sentence, his body suddenly grew incomparably huge, as the shadow of a wolf god also rushed out. The ice flame opened its bloody mouth and sucked close to the ground. Walala, walala. The surging sea water was sucked into his body. And at this moment, the few tentacles of the octopus were completely devoid of any moisture. Walala, walala, bam. 8 tentacles were chopped off, and blood gushed out crazily. The octopus cried out in pain, but the broken tentacles did not regenerate. Ha ha, I knew it. This wolf god is invincible. It was at this moment. The fire and ice faces were filled with pain. Xiaobai was shocked and immediately asked, "Ice and fire, what's wrong?" The ice and fire was extremely uncomfortable as he said, "Damn, it's too salty. It's so salty that it hurts your liver." Xiaobai, however, at the same time, the ice and fire inside his body rolled and he shouted, "I'll return the water to you." Boom, boom, boom. The sea water sprayed out and instantly condensed in the air, turning into an ice mountain that smashed down. Bam! Patriarch Red Soul began to move. The iceberg pressed down heavily on the giant octopus's head. Xiaobai roared out and said, "Good job. Arrogant. You dare to be arrogant in front of us? This should be great, haha." The ice mountain pressed down. The giant octopus was bleeding profusely from the beating. It no longer had the arrogance it had at the beginning of its appearance. Its face was completely filled with bitterness. The boss said so. While he's sick, I want his life. 8_8419/2356656. Xiaobai was currently at level 5. Xiaobai was currently at level 5, the level of the newbie village. His history of great techniques. Not able to return. He wanted to prove himself. He wanted Xiang Longfei to prove that his ultimate move was definitely powerful, even though he himself did not have confidence. However, even if he had to say it out loud, he had to do it. Immediately, Xiaobai shouted loudly, "Ice and fire, get ready!" Shua! The illusory image of the wolf god was sucked into Xiao Bai's body, and Xiao Bai once again transformed into the body of a little wolf dog. Even though the giant octopus had been attacked consecutively, it was still enraged. Thousands of tentacles exploded wildly, attack after attack. Xiao Bai's strong and healthy body could easily dodge every single time. After all, divine beasts were still divine beasts. Moreover, the biggest weakness of the octopus was this was the 6th floor. Even though there was a layer of seawater beneath his body, it was impossible for him to use his full strength. Xiao Bai approached the giant octopus and shouted, "Ice and fire!" Ice and fire rushed down. Chua! A gale rolled out of its mouth as it crazily absorbed the seawater. Like a dragon absorbing water, it sucked up all the seawater around the octopus. Bing Hua shouted loudly, "Brother Xiao Bai, it's all up to you." It was also at this moment Xiao Bai suddenly stopped. His body suddenly grew big. A powerful energy started circulating inside his body, and the aura of the divine beast also became stronger and stronger. Wolf gods might exploded in all directions. The entire plaza was shocked by the chi released by Xiao Bai. Even Long Fei was the same. Stunned. I didn't expect to get so much stronger in this period of time. Long Fei's heart tightened. Compared to when he was in hundreds of thousands of barren mountains, Xiao Bai was far, far stronger. However, he didn't know why. Long Fei had a bad feeling about this. His intuition told him that Xiao Bai's big move. Right when everyone had noticed Xiao Bai was also extremely pleased with himself in his heart. Ha ha ha! It is time for me, Xiao Bai, to prove myself. From the heavens to the earth, Xiao Bai is the only ruler. Ha ha! I am the wolf god. I am the invincible wolf god. After today, all the girls will like me. He was extremely pleased with himself. How cocky. The feeling of being the center of attention was simply too refreshing. The cool Xiao Bai was unable to find the north. At this moment, Xiao Bai fiercely roared, "Wolf gods!" Pada! A large amount of gas was emitted from his butt. It was visible to the naked eye. "Come out your ass!" Again, the entire audience was stunned. They all stared at Xiao Bai, and then the fart that Xiao Bai was releasing was released, causing the entire plaza to be enveloped by the fumes. Holy **T. Long Fei cursed. Li Yuanba pinched his nose and asked, "Boss, is that your pet?" "What? No, I don't know him at all. I don't know where this little wolf dog came from either. I don't know him at all." Long Fei instantly denied it. All of the demon soldier warriors around were staring at Long Fei. It was obviously Long Fei's war pet. Everyone knew. Long Fei felt embarrassed from being stared at, and said bitterly, "All right, that is my war pet." He had already paid his respects to Xiao Bai's ancestors in his heart, and he had lost a lot of face once again. Another fart popped out. This was called a high-leveled skill? Long Fei immediately scolded, "Xiao Bai, come over here. I promise I won't beat you to death. I promise." Ha ha, ha ha. All the demon soldier warrior on the plaza were laughing maniacally. This is too funny. Even a fart is a big move. Then is my **T also a big move? Go home, stop teasing me. I wonder where this little mongrel came from. I'm laughing at him. Even the giant octopus, who was extremely scared, just now laughed proudly as it looked down on Xiao Bai. Long Fei's voice turned heavy. "What are you laughing at? You can laugh at anyone, but I can't laugh at his brother." Mocking Xiao Bai? They are not yet qualified. Immediately, Long Fei's voice became angry, and he shouted, "Xiao Bai, show them your trump card, and let them know who you are. If you can't release it, then don't follow me anymore." He was furious. If Xiao Bai wasn't angry, Long Fei would be furious. The Scarlet Soul old man laughed and said, "So this is your war pet? Is he here to be funny?" Huang Haitu also sneered and said, "If you're still using such a big move, then wouldn't our toilet be filled with big moves?" Ha ha! Smile. Laugh like hell. Long Fei clenched his teeth, feeling extremely unwell in his heart. Li Yuanba also roared, "Xiao Bai, enlargement stroke." The Arhut was a little conflicted and said, Xiaobai, enlargement stroke. Binghua also shouted loudly, Brother Xiaobai, enlargement stroke will kill them. It was also at this moment. Xiaobai clenched his teeth and said with a heavy tone, You can laugh at me, but you guys, you can't laugh at my boss. As soon as his voice faded, his body exploded once again. A power even more brutal than before exploded out. No time for any reaction. Xiaobai roared, Spears of the wolf god. Crack! The sky split open. In the sky, a gigantic illusion of a wolf god shot down with a spear in hand. Boom! The pike pierced the head of the giant octopus, piercing through its body. Rumble! 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 The giant octopus's body split open, and it let out an angry roar of pain. Every tentacle on its body was cracking open, and a burst of intense light burst out from its body. Rumble! With a roar from the wolf god, the giant octopus exploded. His flesh and blood filled the entire plaza. Xiaobai roared, Great move, is that cool? Long Fei also roared out, Laugh! Laugh for your father. The entire venue was silent. There was no sound at all. The wolf god's spear, the power of the heavens. A spear thrust out. A giant octopus at the peak of the 8th level, insta-killed. This was Xiaobai's ultimate move. The entire plaza no longer had any sounds of laughter, but were now staring at Xiaobai with their mouths agape. Too fierce. It was also at this moment. System Beep S sounded out in Long Fei's mind. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Octopus King, for obtaining 1 experience point, True Chi point, and energy values point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Octopus King Blood Vein. Buzz equals semi/floating life plus. Without waiting for Long Fei to control it, the Octopus King Blood Vein was absorbed by the Dragon Salyer. The Dragon Salyer's power increased by another level. Other than the Blood Vein, Octopus King did not reveal anything else. The reason was very simple. Whatever it could explode out was completely destroyed by Xiaobai's big move. Long Fei glanced at the experience slot, and the corner of his mouth slightly curled up. Almost. Chapter 48_8419/2356657. Kill! Kill! Taking advantage of their shock, Long Fei suddenly roared out. Morale sword. They began killing. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for defeating Demon Cavalry Warrior for obtaining an experience point. True Chi 300 points. Energy values 10 points. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei and Warrior Demon Cavalry Warrior for gaining an experience point. True Chi 300 points. Energy values 100 points. The Dragon Salyer in Long Fei's hands never stopped, and it used its full strength every time it attacked. There was no hesitation. The destructive power of Dragon Salyer was on a par with the strong, even though his current rank had not reached the highest, and Long Fei was unable to release all of his power. Long Fei was now a demon. Dragon Salyer was also the Blade of Slaughter. The demonic chi on Long Fei's body merged with the blade demon chi on the Dragon Salyer and became even stronger. Li Yuanba also recovered. Kill! The ice and fire spat out the seawater they had absorbed and roared. Kill! Seawater sprayed out and condensed into incomparably sharp ice pillars, stabbing downwards. Whoosh, 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 asterisk ding. Ding! Ding! Xiaobai also crazily threw himself at him. You were the one who was laughing at this father just now, right? Die! Arhut also put his hands together. If I don't go to hell, then who goes to hell? Amiba. The King Kong vault in his hand shook. A strong power of bedevilment burst out. And like Li Yuanba, all of the Demon Soldier Warrior were beaten to a pulp. Originally, they were surrounded by thousands of Devil Knights, but now, it was as if several people had surrounded thousands of Devil Riders and were crazily slaughtering them. Those Demon Knights could not resist at all. His experience rapidly increased. The True Chi soared dramatically. Long Fei's speed became faster and faster. He had to make use of this little time to break through the War Elder Realm. Only by leveling up could he obtain greater strength. The power of the War Elder realm was completely different from that of the War Chief. Kill. One after another, Devil Riders fell at his feet. Long Fei's body was covered in blood as he crazily killed them all. Boom! The power on Huang Haitu's body exploded, and as he watched the demon cavalry warrior fall one after another, the anger in his heart gushed out once more. With a black sword in hand, he pierced Xiang Longfei and said, "Give my son's life back." "Long Fei, be careful," Wang Shiyun shouted loudly. Li Yuanba's eyes shook, and he roared, "Let me do it." Bang, bang, bang. His footsteps were like thunder as he charged forth. The lightning in his hands continuously bombarded the void. Every time he struck, the lightning on the lightning would become denser and denser. Facing Huang Haitu, he smashed his twin hammers. It was like a battle axe chopping down. Lightning, however, it missed. His speed was completely unable to keep up with Huang Haitu's, who was at the second level of the War Emperor. Get lost! Huang Haitu kicked Li Yuanba and sent him flying. At this moment, the Arhut took a step forward and said in front of Long Fei, "Amit Ba, you get lost too." Without waiting for Arhut to attack, Huang Haitu's power had also blasted him away, causing him to spit out a mouthful of blood. The War Emperor realm was too terrifying. Moreover, they were even at the second level of War Emperor. Li Yuanba and Arhut were simply no match for them. Long Fei frowned. Seeing that Long Fei was not moving, the Yin Huang ancestor shouted, "Kid, quickly dodge it! Quickly dodge it!" Long Fei did not listen. Both of his eyes were tightly locked on a Huang Haitu. Clenching his fists, he looked at the system experience slot and roared loudly, "I only have you left." Not dodging, he rushed back. Puchi, a sword pierced through Long Fei's shoulder. A surge of power suddenly locked down, locking the sword inside of Long Fei's body. At the same time, Long Fei spat out a mouthful of blood. Incomparable pain. "Boss! Master! Long Fei!" They were all worried for Long Fei. Huang Haitu laughed sinisterly and said, "You dog, you dare to fight with a trash like you? You think you're worthy?" Long Fei looked up sinisterly and said, "Are you not worthy?" Wu Shuang of the Second Order. Boom! A strength of 4 times his attributes was released. Long Fei's blood-red colored wantonly floated up, his fists moved, and like a cannonball, he smashed his fists forward. Bang, bang, bang. "Not worthy? I will beat you until you deserve it." Devil Blast Fist. Boom, boom, boom. Both of his fists were like a torrential storm as they frantically struck at Huang Haitu's chest. Huang Haitu continued to fly backwards. Huang Haitu wanted to pull out the black sword, but he was firmly stuck at the center of the attack. How could he have thought that Long Fei would use her body to lock him down? Bam! 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 Long Fei's health point was decreasing, so was Huang Haitu's health point. Right now, all he had to do was take a deep breath. Huang Haitu roared. He immediately gave up on his black sword and said solemnly, "I'll fight it out with you." Long Fei grinned. "Just like that, I'll let you know what it means to be worthy." Bang, bang, bang. It didn't deal much damage, about 1,000 points. However, there were so many punches. 100 punches, 1,000 punches, 10,000 punches. Long Fei was a madman. Completely ignoring his own damage, without any defense, he focused all his strength on attacking. The unparalleled time had come to an end. Wu Shuang of the Second Order. Open. Long Fei's fists exploded again and again as he continued to attack. Even Huang Haitu, who was at the second level of the War Emperor, became more and more confused as he fought. The more he fought, the more afraid he became because Long Fei was completely crazy. If he wasn't crazy, how would he become a devil? Wasn't the so-called demon supposed to be like this? Long Fei pushed the devil aura on his body to the peak realm. The surrounding people were all dumbfounded. Madman! How could there be such a madman? My God! Someone at the 9th level of the War Chief has the upper hand when competing with an expert at the 2nd level of the War Emperor. What exactly is the situation? Li Yuanba held the twin hammers tightly and said solemnly, boss. It was the same for Xiaobai and Ice and Fire. Arhut didn't wipe the blood from the corner of his mouth. He raised his head to look at the sky and mumbled, "What kind of person are you, after all?" His heart trembled. Even a strand of holy Buddha power that Long Fei had released last time trembled. Rumble! Huang Haitu was smashed down to the ground. Long Fei immediately sat on his body, both fists continuously striking out. Is he worthy? Are you worthy? Rumble! Rumble! Punch! Punches! 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 Long Fei did not even need to throw out a punch to shout. Are you worthy? Is it suitable now? A series of 10,000 punches. Huang Haitu punched himself beyond recognition. Looking at his last bit of HP, Long Fei's fists were like hammers. He punched downwards, die. Boom! Huang Haitu's head was smashed to smithereens. Release your striking energy value. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Huang Haitu for obtaining an experience point, true chi point, energy values point, and points point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining sky-shattering cannon. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining sky-shattering cannon. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining sky cannon. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining heaven-piercing cannon money. Do you want to light it? Yes, sir. Long Fei was puzzled, but the idea still moved. Shoot. Baidu search, half afloat at the same time. The system sounded out once again. Ding! The 5th chapter. The sea wishes everyone a happy new year. Big money. Tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and the day after that. The sea really doesn't have much time code words. It might only have 3 chapters. No matter what, the sea will do its best. After all, the sea also needs to celebrate the new year. Everyone understands. 8_8419/2356658. The system sounded out once again. The system sounded out once again. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the escort mission. Reward: 100,000 experience, 100,000 true chi, 10,000 points. Ding! The system has begun to rate the completion of the quest. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining a S-class evaluation. You have received a special reward from the system. At this moment, a gift pack box appeared in Long Fei's mind. Long Fei clicked it. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the demon's reincarnation reward. Ding! Do you want to activate the God's Devil Ancient case? Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, War Elder level 1. The system beep sounded continuously. Long Fei's brain was a little unable to process it. Me? Am I really the reincarnation of the Sky Demon? That's not right. It should be the reincarnation of the Sky Demon that I just obtained. How powerful is the reincarnation of that Sky Demon? Long Fei impatiently opened up the system to check. The reincarnation of the Sky Demon. Description: Comprehension plus, Description 2. God's Devil Token plus 3 levels. Description 3. Magic Cultivation Speed plus, Description 4. Demonic Chi. Looking at this series of attributes, Long Fei was completely stunned. This is 2. Isn't this the power of the reincarnation of the Sky Demon? What a complete mess. Long Fei was overjoyed in his heart. If your comprehension ability becomes stronger, then in the future, you will be able to comprehend the 3-blade stream and the 9 knives force. It was an unparalleled fast, and the moves in the One Piece, the moves in the Fire Shadows, the moves of the Old Master. Doesn't that mean you can understand it just by thinking about it? Ha ha, it's getting bigger. Long Fei was speechless. And then again, the God's Devil space among the God's Devil token directly rose to the 3rd floor, with a strength of 8 times the speed at which he cultivated the cultivation technique. It's like being a rocket. Adding on the fact that his cultivation speed had increased by 100%, it would be like slashing a wire with a kitchen knife. The whole journey would be filled with sparks and lightning. This was too cool. Demonic Chi plus 500%, 5 times Demonic Chi. to be able to crush him. This was what it meant to have a demonic intent soaring to the heavens. Awesome. Just a single word was enough to make him happy. It felt so good. This thing is comparable to 10 holy artifacts. It's too difficult to find cultivation skills. With the power of the reincarnation of the sky demon, Mom no longer has to worry about the problem of my cultivation technique. What Long Fei wanted the most was the comprehensibility. Combined with the spirit space ring and the 10 points of luck attribute, there was a total of 20 points of lucky value. 3 blades are already nothing. The 9 knives force is the best. Long Fei grinned. At this moment, the system beeped once again. Ding! Do you want to activate the God's Devil Ancient Case? Only the reincarnated Sky Demon can open this box. He is the reincarnated Sky Demon. In this world, only he can open this ancient box. Long Fei moved. Activate. As soon as he said that, Long Fei felt pain on his finger. A drop of blood essence floated up and landed on the ancient box inside the space ring. It was also at this time. The God's Devil Ancient Case flew out and landed in midair. Wong. The demonic chi on the ancient box soared into the sky, enveloping the entire Sea Devil Emperor. The entire square fell silent. Time seemed to have been banned. The God's Devil Ancient Case is about to open. Long Fei looked up at the God's Devil Ancient Case in the air. His heart chilled as he thought to himself, damn, to fly in the air. What if the Scarlet Soul tribesmen snatch it away? He was not finished. The old man then shouted, take it away. The 10 demon soldier warrior moved and flew into the air. He rushed towards the God's Devil Ancient Case. It was also at this moment. Bam! A blood-red magic knight shot out, directly annihilating all 10 of the knights into powder, not leaving a single one behind. It was also at this moment. Ding, ding, ding. 10 notifications continuously rang out in Long Fei's mind. Long Fei laughed. Ha ha ha! Grandson of the Crimson Soul Clan. If you have the guts, go snatch it. Go snatch it. Ha ha ha! Long Fei laughed out wildly while he was laughing. The aura of the heavenly demon from his body recklessly exploded out, crushing the entire plaza. The Scarlet Soul Elder's face darkened. His eyes stared straight at Long Fei and said, Heavenly Demon's Chi. Not at the beginning. Ever since Long Fei had killed Huang Haitu, the aura on his body had changed, becoming the aura of a heavenly demon. He was very familiar with this aura. The old man said in a deep voice, I didn't think that you would actually awaken the heavenly demon's aura. Then, no matter what happens today, you won't be able to live. The demonic lord must die. Buzz. The aura around this old man also underwent a drastic change. His expression turned serious. Level 3 War Emperor's chi exploded out. The dense chi continuously struck Long Fei's mind, causing him to be crushed. Even if he leveled up to War Elder level 1 now, but the level 3 War Emperor. In terms of levels, this was a level higher than Long Fei by more than 20 levels. Even if Long Fei had 5 times the demonic chi now, he would still not be able to resist it. Long Fei was completely crushed. At this moment, the God's Devil Ancient Case opened. The Scarlet Soul Old Man turned his attention and stared at the God's Devil Ancient Case. As long as he obtained something from the God's Devil Ancient Case, he would definitely be able to become the supreme demon lord of the South Horizon region and firmly trample the 8 demon sects to death under his feet. In that instant, the old man summoned a crimson soul blade and shot it up with a single step. Rumble, you want to rob my master's things? The ice and fire wings flapped and flew up. Boom! The old man's eyes turned sinister. He waved a red spirit blade in his hand, and a violent douchi shot out, directly sending the ice and fire flying. Rumble! Xiaobai also instantly leaped into the air. He was also knocked back by the Crimson Soul Old Man's Crimson Soul Saber. That blade was an extremely powerful Soul Force attack weapon. Scarlet Soul Old Man laughed out wildly. Ha, ha, ha. The Heavenly Demon Relic is mine. It's mine. Once I obtain it, I can become the Demon Lord, and the people from the 8 great demon sects can be ravaged by me. I will repay the enmity from back then 100 times, ha? The Scarlet Soul old man was getting closer and closer to the god's devil ancient case. His hand had already pierced through the ancient box's magic shield. He was a member of the Scarlet Soul tribe. He was a level 3 war emperor ranker. His cultivation was completely different from those Demon Knight warrior-s. Suddenly, a sharp light flashed in his eyes as he revealed an excited expression. Obviously, the things inside made him extremely excited. It was also at this moment. Long Fei moved and leaped fiercely. Moonlit step. Caret half. /float asterisk life. Schwa. He instantly appeared beside the god's devil ancient case and looked down from above, his eyes staring at the excited Scarlet Spirit Elder, and roared. Stealing my things? Don't you know who I, Long Fei, am? With both hands, he tightly held onto the dragon's salure. Demon energy entered the blade. The blood vein in the blade tumbled. The dragon's salure turned into a blood-red color. Just like when it was taken out of the blood pool, a blade aimed at the head of the Scarlet Soul old man and struck downwards. Chapter 18_8419/2356659. One person snatched the treasure while the other killed. One person snatched the treasure while the other killed. Almost at the same time, the 4 sky cannons also flew into the air. This was something that Long Fei had used as striking attribute to blast away. The dragon's salure slashed down. Blood dragon's berserk slash. Roar. A sinister blood dragon's shadow flew out from the dragon salure-s. It was extremely powerful. Countless blade energies crazily exploded from the blood dragon. Boom, 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 boom. A string of saber energy crazily danced on the body of the old man with Scarlet Soul in a crazy manner. Such a powerful strike. It was also the best slash that Long Fei and the dragon salure coordinated together. The strength in this slash was even stronger than the dragon spirit killer by a little. However, the old man didn't move at all, and all the bloody grooves on his head exploded in an instant. One slash caused 293,383 30 million damage. This isn't an instant kill, but this was the fake body of Old Man Red Soul. As long as the fake body did not have any form of defense, it would cause such a huge amount of damage. TSK, TSK. You dog, I didn't expect you to have this kind of power. It seems that you have truly awakened the power of the heavenly demon. An ice-cold voice came out from Long Fei's back. Long Fei's back felt cold, and his palms broke out in a cold sweat. He could not move. Waha! The reincarnation of the sky demon. Go to hell. The Scarlet Soul old man pressed his palms down, directly hitting Long Fei's head. Boom! Boom! Long Fei's body was almost about to explode as he plummeted from the skies. His health point crazily descended as he was unable to resist falling. Long Fei plummeted down from the sky, looking at the Scarlet Soul old man, laughing maniacally in glee. He was in a bad mood, an extremely bad mood. However, Long Fei watched as his health point crazily descended and the pain in his body continued to increase. He laughed bitterly in his heart. I'm going to die. Am I going to die? The first level of the level 3 War Emperor was at its peak, and it was also when he was at its weakest that he could not resist it at all. At this moment, even the Yin Huang ancestor couldn't do anything about it. Patriarch, I'm going to die. Hurry up and leave my body. I'm going to die. Long Fei laughed bitterly. He was unwilling. Seeing Patriarch Red Soul laughing so arrogantly, he couldn't accept it. And he was not willing to accept the fact that Hong Tianjun had once crushed him. Lu Luoxi kneeled. He was unwilling. The Long family had not risen up yet, so he was unwilling. There were a lot more. Long Fei was unwilling. It was not easy to teleport himself here. I can't accept it. I can't accept this. Long Fei roared in his heart, roared out. I'm still a virgin. I'm not willing to die. Just give me a little more time. Give me another 10 years. I'm willing to pay any price. Give me more time. I want to trample Hong Tianjun to death. I want Long family to become the strongest family in the South Horizon region. Give me a little more time. His health point was still falling crazily. It was about to come to an end. There was no other way. The power of the Yin Huang ancestor continued to flow into Long Fei's body. It was completely useless. What Long Fei needed was not power, but health point. Right now, even if there was a large amount of spiritual medicines, it would still be useless. Just now, that move of the Scarlet Soul old man had dealt a critical blow. No matter how many spiritual medicines there were, they would all be useless unless they could instantly grow full. However, where could there be such a medicine? Brad, I won't. You won't. I definitely won't let you die. Yin Huang ancestor was also furious. Even he did not expect the sneak attack from the Scarlet Soul tribe. Now, his power continued to flow into Long Fei's body. However, he didn't know why, but it was completely useless. Long Fei's physique was completely different from other warriors' physiques. Long Fei said, "Ancestor, I am sorry. I have let you down. I am sorry." He said. Long Fei's tears rolled down. He had disappointed too many people. Grandfather, eldest uncle, Long family, and the three sisters Luluashi, Jojo, the leopard girl. Disappointed many people. Long Fei silently said in his heart, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry." Tears came. Long Fei felt very uncomfortable. Li Yuanbar roared, "Boss." He ran like a madman. The power throughout his body was exploding as streams of power shot out and cut the surrounding demon soldier warrior straight in the waist, just like streams of blade aura. It was the same with Arhut. He didn't know why. Looking at Long Fei falling from midair, he felt very uncomfortable in his heart. The King Kong exorcism wand in his hands shook as he stared at the Scarlet Soul Elder, who was laughing maniacally in midair, and a strong power burst out. He took a step forward. However, without waiting for his strength to reach the old man slashed out with the Crimson Soul Saber. Shwa! Arhut fell from the sky. Ah! Arhut roared hysterically. The King Kong exorcism wand was trembling. The power in his body was awakening bit by bit, but this speed was too slow, and by the time he had fully awakened the power of the Holy Buddha, the world would have already changed. Xiaobai ran like a madman towards Xiang Longfei. Rumble! Longfei smashed onto the ground heavily. The square shook, and a huge crater was blasted out. Longfei was at the center of the pit, looking at the surrounding brothers who were rushing over. He smiled faintly and said weakly, "I'm sorry, I'm going to die." A tear fell from the corner of his eye. Looking at the final few points of health point, Long Fei laughed. Even if he knew he was going to die soon, he would never regret it. After Long Fei landed, more than 4,000 Demon Knight warrior-s on the plaza were roaring, boiling, and laughing crazily. The Scarlet Soul old man stood in the air beside the god's devil ancient case and laughed sinisterly. The reincarnation of the Sky Demon? Ha ha ha! This is the reincarnation of the Sky Demon? So weak. Ha ha! Laugh. He laughed maniacally. Scarlet Soul old man said gloomily, "Demons should be despicable and shameless. You're too inexperienced. Ha ha! The god's devil ancient case is mine now. The 8 great demon sects will also be trampled by me. Brat, go and die." Ha! Looking at the Long Fei in the deep pit, he laughed complacently because he had gotten his revenge. Those who had reincarnated from the Sky Demons were about to die. The Scarlet Soul Tribe was about to engulf the South Horizon region. He was going to be the supreme Devil King. The old man was incomparably proud. After so many tens of thousands of years of humiliation, it was finally time for revenge. And then, he turned around and looked at the god's devil ancient case that had been activated and laughed sinisterly. "Let me see what you have left." It was also at this time. 4 sky cannon joy, respect, and wealth exploded in the sky. Chapter 28419/2356660. Rumble, 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 rumble. For incomparably loud voices resounded like thunder. The world was shaking. The whole Sea Demon King city shook even more violently. At this moment, a demon soldier warrior spat out a mouthful of blood. His body collapsed. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for defeating Demon Cavalry Warrior for gaining some experience, 300 true chi, 100 energy values. And then, another Demon Cavalry Warrior coughed blood and fell to the ground. Ding! Their heart veins were all shattered from the shock. All deadlight. One after another, Demon Cavalry Warrior fell, instantly killed, without any ability to resist. Everyone was scared silly. Those who weren't dead yet were trying their best to escape, but it was all useless. Still, he was killed by the shockwave, blood spewing everywhere. In Long Fei's mind, ding, ding, ding. It was like a symphony song, wildly dancing, violently dancing, like a mountain torrent pouring out, that kind of feeling. It was too wonderful. It was just as irritable. His experience points was rising rapidly. One by one, they rose rapidly. After the 4 heaven-piercing cannons exploded, in the short span of a few seconds, all of the Demon Rider Warrior in the plaza were killed. More than 4,000 Demon Cavalry Warrior. They were all instantly killed. At this moment, ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Boom! Long Fei's body exploded. The power of the level 2 War Elder flowed into his body. What did leveling up mean? It meant all the pain on Long Fei's body had completely disappeared, and all the attributes had been swelled up. Just now, with only a bit of health point left, in half a second, Long Fei will die. This is not a game. There was no chance for revival. If he really died, then he would really die. Huff! Long Fei took a deep breath, opened his eyes, flicked his body, and stood up. Yin Huang Ancestor was stunned. Brat you. Long Fei muttered. Ancestor, I'm fine. Li Yuanba looked to be an idiot as tears truly streamed down his cheeks. Wang Shiyin was the same. Xiao Bai and Bing He were also crying. Even the reincarnated Arhat of the Holy Buddha was the same, his eyes filled with tears. In that instant, they all thought that Long Fei was about to die, and their hearts were in great pain. Seeing Long Fei stand up once again, they all laughed. He was laughing and crying. That's not yours. Scram to the side. Long Fei said in a gloomy voice. The corners of the old man's eyes turned sinister. He turned to look at Long Fei and asked, You're not dead yet? Not only did he not die, Long Fei's body did not have the slightest injury. Why? Old Man Red Soul was shocked, but he was not worried because this time he wanted Long Fei to die. Long Fei moved in mid-air and laughed. If I don't take care of this boss, how would I die? If the boss doesn't die, then I'll swear to never return. This was the motto of the past, Long Fei, when he was playing games. If he didn't kill the boss, what face would he have to return? The Scarlet Soul Elder disdainfully sneered and said, In fact, you just had a chance to escape, but you didn't know how to cherish it. You actually came in front of me to throw away your life. Long Fei laughed. Do you know what is called bewitching? The old man's eyes widened as he coldly asked, What do you mean by bewitched? You're not qualified. Long Fei continued to laugh. Demons are fearless, regardless of life and death. Insanity and insanity, wildness and tyranny are devils. It's not about how despicable and shameless you are. Ha ha! The Scarlet Soul old man laughed out wildly and said, Do you not care about life and death? Crazy as a madman? Do you want to do whatever you want? Arrogant and domineering? Ha ha! Kid, I've lived for more than 80 years, but this is the first time I've heard of this kind of demon. But what are you? Sky Demon? Bullshit. The power that you have awakened is not even 1/10 of the power of the Sky Demon. Do you think you can teach me a lesson? Long Fei made a grasping motion in the air, and the dragon's salure appeared in his hands. He sneered sinisterly. I'm not here to teach you a lesson. I am here to F***K you up. Extremely savage. Even if it was the Scarlet Soul old man who was facing the level 3 War Emperor. It was incomparably domineering and savage. Just like Long Fei had said, demons were fearless. They did not care about life and death. They were crazy, They did whatever they wanted, and they were arrogant and tyrannical. You're courting death. Scarlet Soul Old Man took a step forward, the Scarlet Soul saber in his hand, chopped down. Go to hell and properly ask the Sky Demon what the devil is, you little bastard. Boom! The Crimson Soul saber slashed down with the power to cut through the heavens and earth. The Dragon Salyer in Long Fei's hand moved, and just as the Scarlet Soul Old Man charged forward, his mouth curled into a cold smile. His gaze locked onto the God's Devil Ancient Case. Teleport. Chua! His body shot out like lightning and landed by the God's Devil Ancient Case's side. Old Man Red Soul's face went cold. I've been tricked. He and Long Fei's positions were changed. Long Fei stood beside the God's Devil Ancient Case and laughed sinisterly. He grabbed at the God's Devil Ancient Case with one hand and took out a bloodied Buddha magic relic. The God's Devil Ancient Case with a huge space ring. Long Fei casually grabbed out a Buddha magic relic. It was still dripping with blood. Buddha magic relic. The Red Spirit Elder's eyes turned sinister. There's really a Buddha magic relic. He clenched his fists tightly. You shouldn't have moved so recklessly just now, or else. Long Fei was definitely unable to get his hands on the Buddha magic relic, and he felt extremely regretful in his heart. Clenching both of his fists together, a critical explosion resounded. Scarlet Soul Old Man also shouted with a deep voice, "That's the Buddha magic relic is mine. Kid, if you dare to devour me, I'll wring your head off." He was enraged. The Red Soul Elder was insanely enraged. Huang Wuji, when Huang Haida died, he had never been this furious, and it was the same for the Devil Cavalry Warrior. Long Fei laughed excitedly. Thank you for reminding me about using Buddha magic relic. While they were talking, Long Fei directly put the Buddha magic relic into his mouth. At this moment, the sky changed and turned crimson. The devilish aura from Long Fei's body was also being released in an incomparably arrogant manner. Both of his eyes directly turned into terrifying bloody pupils as the strength of a devil Buddha superimposed onto his body. Demon, an incomparably powerful devil. At this moment, blood red splattered everywhere. The devilish chi on her body was released unscrupulously, causing the Dragon Salyer S to move. Boom! The Blood Dragon God sat on top of the Dragon Salyer. Long Fei stared at the Red Soul Elder and said sinisterly, "The heavenly demon treasures have never belonged to you. I didn't. Not now. Not in the future. All right, you have no future because you are about to die." In that instant, Long Fei's pair of sinister and terrifying blood-red eyes moved, and a savage cold smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Crack! Chapter 3. Hai Yang was going to visit her relatives these few days to pay her New Year respects. She didn't have much time to write anything, and would resume the 5th chapter on the 11th. Everyone, please forgive her. 8_8419/2356661. Crack! Crack! Long Fei's body exploded, the strength of his attributes exploding by 4 times. Boom! The demonic energy was like a volcano erupting. He stared at the old man with both eyes, like a primordial beast staring at its prey. Come, let me show you what a devil is. Red Soul Old Man's eyes flashed with a sinister light. You're courting death. The Crimson Soul Saber moved, and his body turned into a straight line as he shot out. Buried Soul. Boom! The Scarlet Soul Blade moved. The powerful soul force formed into a fierce beast rushing towards Xiang Long Fei. Long Fei held onto the Dragon Salyer tightly. Facing the ferocious beast that rushed out, he closed his eyes. Chua! The eyes of the Blood Dragon God who was coiled on the Dragon Salyer shook, and it let out a shocking dragon cry. Long Fei also followed along. The saber slashed down. The Blood Dragon God pounced towards that soul beast. Long Fei also teleported in an instant and slashed down with his blade. Bam! The old man blocked it. Flames scattered everywhere and demonic chi surged. His heart was shaken greatly. Is this the power of the magic Buddhist relics? The cultivation of the level 2 War Elder can actually withstand the power of the level 3 War Emperor? What exactly is the power hidden within the magic Buddhist relics? The power of the Devil Buddha? No one knew. Only Long Fei knew, and he was mad at this power. After he had engulfed the magic Buddhist relics, a stopwatch appeared in his mind, crazily counting down. To him, the Buddha magic relic was a powerful force that had a time limit on it. Bam! 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 Long Fei crazily attacked, and the Scarlet Soul old man crazily blocked. Isn't he arrogant? Didn't you want to kill me? Come on, is that all you've got? Do you only know how to guard against it? Long Fei's voice burst out one after another, firmly crushing the Scarlet Soul old man. The dragon salyer in his hand transformed into a blood-colored dance. It was truly a shocking scene. The old man was constantly being crushed. However, he was a level 3 War Emperor ranker, and even though he was being crushed, Long Fei did not harm him. Even if he had swallowed a Buddha magic relic, it would still be useless. The difference. This was the difference in cultivation level. The Scarlet Soul old man was furious and said, "You dog, so what if you swallow magic Buddhist relics?" The magic Buddhist relics is a sacred treasure to the demons. You devouring its power is not so bad. It is a complete waste, the reincarnation of the sky demons. Ha ha ha, I think you're the reincarnation of trash. While they were talking, another 100 exchanges. It was the same. Long Fei crazily attacked, and the Scarlet Soul old man crazily blocked. Still no damage. The old man's arm was numb, and his heart was filled with shock, but he felt very displeased. A dignified level 3 War Emperor expert was actually being crushed by a War Elder cultivator like this? Long Fei bellowed in anger, Blood Dragon God slash. The Red Soul Elder's eyes turned malevolent. Crimson Soul Heaven breaking slash. The two attacks collided. Rumble, 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 rumble. Crazy crushing. Powerful forces continued to wreak havoc, causing the sky to feel as if it was about to explode. This kind of collision was too powerful. However, the two forces were still able to offset it. Scarlet Soul Old Man was still unharmed. Scarlet Soul Old Man laughed out wildly. "You dog, you're too weak. You want to kill me? You're not yet qualified." Laughter like thunder. The Red Soul Elder was not going head-to-head with Long Fei at all. He was fighting a battle of attrition. He is the level 3 War Emperor. Long Fei was the level 2 War Elder. No matter if it was true chi, physical strength, mental strength, or whatever, he was far stronger than Long Fei. As long as he continued to exhaust his strength, he would win. Long Fei knew this as well. Everything else was fine, but this battle of attrition was Long Fei's weakness. Buddha Magic Relic had a time limit. Wushuang had a time limit, and true chi was the same. This won't do. Long Fei frowned and thought, I can't exhaust him. Long Fei floated in the air as his forehead tightened. The Scarlet Soul Old Man laughed sinisterly and said, "You dog, why did you stop? Keep attacking. Come kill me? Ha ha ha." A trash reincarnated by the sky demons. Wang Shiyun shouted at the top of her lungs. And you, as a member of the Scarlet Soul tribe, I think you're just a shameless clan. With your level 3 War Emperor being crushed like this, you still have the face to say that others are trash. Trash from the Scarlet Soul tribe. You've really given the people of the Scarlet Soul tribe face. If I were Patriarch Red Soul, I would never be able to rest my eyes in peace. You dare say that Long Fei is trash. Do you even have any shame? Besides being sinister, you are also sinister. The face of the War Emperor realm has been completely thrown away by you. Wang Shiyun didn't care that much and started to curse loudly. Li Yuanba said naively, "You're the biggest trash. Boss is not trash." Xiao Bai roared, "Trash Scarlet Soul, do you dare to face our master head-on? If you have the guts, then go all out against our boss. What kind of hero is a war of attrition? I think he's a trash of ancestor." They all began to curse. They had always been defending and dodging, not daring to come face-to-face with Long Fei at all, as they continuously exhausted Long Fei. In this period of time, Long Fei had exhausted too many of his true qi. The Scarlet Soul old man smiled sinisterly and said, "I'm shameless. I'll use up the battle. You just wait and see. Wait for me to get rid of this trash, then it'll be you guys. Enjoy every second that comes, because you're all going to die soon." Ha! Heartsteel. He knew that he didn't have much of an advantage over Meng Hao. A war of attrition was the only way. As long as Long Fei's true qi was exhausted, it would be his time to dominate. If Long Fei died, the two divine beasts would die, and the other three would die as well. Ha! I'm just shameless. If you have the ability, then kill me in one move. Ha! The Scarlet Soul old man laughed sinisterly, looked at Long Fei who was floating in the air. He could do nothing to him, and said furiously, "Trash, come and kill me, huh?" Incomparable pride. Long Fei's heart was filled with anger, his eyes becoming gloomy. Suddenly, instead of rushing towards the old man, he turned around and flew to the side of the god's devil ancient case, reaching out his right hand towards the magic box. The old man's eyes were filled with anger as he shouted, "Kid, what are you trying to do? The treasures in the god's devil ancient case are all mine. Yours. Floating life. Table of contents, no windows. A plus plus, haha." Long Fei made a grab with his right hand and immediately grabbed out two bloodied Buddha magic relic. He stared at the Scarlet Spirit old man darkly. "If you have the guts, come up and snatch them." Kacha kacha. The two Buddha magic relic swallow them into their bodies. Chapter 18_84/2356662. Crazy. Crazy. Long Fei had gone completely crazy. Magic Buddhist relics possessed extremely powerful strength. One was the absolute limit, but he had actually swallowed 3 of them. The toughness of one's strength had to be matched with the endurance of the body. If the body could not withstand it, then the strength would burst out of the body. A magic Buddhist relics is the limit, but Long Fei desperately devoured 2 of them consecutively and completely went mad. If he wasn't crazy, how would he become a devil? Yin Huang Ancestor's heart sank as he lightly shouted, "Brat, you're crazy enough. This sovereign likes it, huh? Devour as much as you want. I can still protect your body." Then, Yin Huang Ancestor excitedly protected a strand of energy in Long Fei's heart and said, "Explode as much as you want." Boom, boom, boom. Once the 3 magic Buddhist relics entered his body, Long Fei's current strength was completely different. Long Fei grabbed from the god's devil ancient case once again. Shwa! An incomparably savage, demonic blade appeared. God's devil blade. The old man and everyone else were shocked. God's devil blade. It's really the god's devil blade. The moment the demon saber was grabbed, the old man was shocked. The aura on the weapon was the aura of a sky demon. Without a doubt, it was the aura of a god's devil blade. It was completely red. It was refined from thousands of demons and soaked in their blood essence for 1,000 years. It was the supreme demon weapon of the South Horizon region and was comparable to a dragon salure. Savage and famous. The instant the god's devil blade appeared, the dragon salure began to tremble. It was a resonance, a savage resonance. Dragon salures were also the blades of slaughter. They were all weapons created for slaughter. The old man's eyes trembled and he shouted, "You that's my thing, it's all mine." All 3 magic Buddhist relics were swallowed. Now was the god's devil blade. The Scarlet Soul old man's anger was ignited. Inside there were god's devil blood and other treasures of the sky demon. He must not let Long Fei take them out. Rumble. Long Fei's body exploded as blood red flew wildly, as if he was possessed by a devil, and his body was filled with an incomparably arrogant and tyrannical devil energy. At this moment, Long Fei took out the autumn water, the god's devil blade in his left hand, the dragon salure in his right, and the autumn water in his mouth. His body sank slightly. Wong, the blade aura wreaked havoc, superimposing with the heavenly demon aura. The air above the entire Sea Devil Emperor was occupied by the blade aura and demonic aura from Long Fei's body. Incomparable power. His eyes were like ghosts. His body was like a devil's. The two blades stood tall, and his body was sunken, his eyes locked onto the old man. In his mind, he continuously simulated the moves of Sauron. 200% comprehension, plus 20 points of luck attribute. In that instant, the chemical reaction occurred, and they touched each other. Nine Knives Force, Azura. When one of the spirit demons landed, Long Fei's body rushed out. His body disappeared. It had completely disappeared. Even the demonic chi and blade chi on its body seemed to have been sucked out of its body in a flash. There was not even a trace of breath left in it. Scarlet Soul Old Man's face darkened, his eyes constantly searching. He couldn't sense anything within his sea of consciousness. At this moment, he was extremely shocked. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. I am a level 3 War Emperor cultivator. It's impossible that I can't sense his aura. Fear arose in the old man's heart. This was the first time he felt fear. The old man exploded into a roar, soul splitting. The soul force in his body exploded out crazily. The soul force that he had absorbed for decades all exploded out, forming a powerful air shield that wrapped around himself. Come on, come on, the old man was shouting so that he would not be afraid. Die. In the air, a voice as cold as the god of death rang out. Then, three blades moved, Azura moved. Shwa, shwa shwa. Long Fei stood behind the Scarlet Soul Old Man and said coldly, "Is this fun?" As soon as his voice faded, the aura around Long Fei completely disappeared. The old man didn't move at all. His eyes moved as he looked at his chest. There was a small crack that was slowly tearing his chest open. In the end, his body slowly split apart. "No, I won't die. My Scarlet Soul clan will not die. Just you wait, little boy. Just you wait. The Scarlet Souls clan will once again sweep through the South Horizon region." The old man screamed out as his body split into 3 parts. Blood spurted out, and the third part of his body fell from the sky. Bam! 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 Patriarch Red Soul was dead. At this moment, Long Fei was also unable to hold on. He could not even hold his blade with both hands. His body sank and instantly fell down as well. The corner of his mouth was filled with excitement and a sense of craziness as he shouted, "Explode! Explode for me, huh? Release the striking energy value." Rumble. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for defeating Old Devil Red Soul, for obtaining 10 experience points, true chi point, and energy values point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Scarlet Soul Blade. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the secret skill, the Soul Refining Technique. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Sky Demon Armor. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Wings of the Demonic. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Heavenly Demon Purple Gold Boots. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Sky Demon Crown. What a mess. It exploded into a complete mess. Long Fei laughed, laughing like a fool. Lying on the ground, he laughed loudly. "Awesome. Good, very good, really good. Haha. Demonic set. Heavenly Demon set." This feeling was too cool, too refreshing. Ever since he obtained the Heavenly Demon reincarnation, Jean had been thinking if only he had a set of armor, he would have actually dropped the Heavenly Demon set. This tempo, it must be the heavens. Moreover, in Long Fei's mind, he kept thinking about the Nine Knives Force Azura technique just now. Thinking about how Sauron had used this technique, Long Fei felt like Sauron had possessed. You comprehended the Nine Knives Force? Not yet. However, I now have 200% comprehension. I believe I can do it, huh? Long Fei was grinning from ear to ear, lying on the ground. He couldn't move, because he had released all of his power in that one move. The strength of 3 Buddha Magic Relic S. All the true chi in his body. It was also because of this that this Scarlet Soul Elder would not be able to sense his aura, which was why he was able to explosively release 12 million damage. It was a pity. There were only 3 God's Devil Ancient cases. If not, he could go up to the Heaven Sect and kill Hong Tianju now. Magic Buddhist Relics was a one-time item. It could increase the user's strength by leaps and bounds, but with a time limit, the Sariras would disappear after a period of time. However, enough. 3 Magic Buddhist Relics in exchange for a set of demonic equipment set. It was worth it. Suddenly, Long Fei's mind shook as he thought of a very serious problem. He immediately said, "Ancestor, please have mercy on me." Chapter 28_8419/2356663. Last time, the holy artifact set was eaten by the Patriarch. Last time, the holy artifact set was eaten by the Patriarch. This time, Long Fei's liver felt a faint pain. The idea moved and immediately said, "Ancestor, please have mercy on me. I beg of you." At this moment, Yin Huang Ancestor chewed on the Scarlet Soul Blade, and with half of the blade's handle still outside, he muttered, "Brat, don't be so stingy, all right? If I didn't help protect your heart veins just now, do you think your body would have been able to withstand the power of 3 Magic Buddhist relics?" Indeed, Long Fei's current level was still only level 2 War Elder. Even if he was the reincarnation of Sky Demon, it would still be the same and would not change. His physical body increased with his level. The level 2 War Elder was indeed unable to bear the power of the 3 Magic Buddhist relics. If not for the help of the Ancestor, he would already be dead. Long Fei looked at the holy artifact, Red Soul Saber. As long as it was worth at least 1,000,000 points, one could get swollen playing with Fishing Machine. However, Long Fei laughed. "Thank you for Ancestor's help. I will let you eat the Scarlet Soul Blade, but can you let me keep the Heavenly Demon set?" Not even once. Looking at the Sky Demon armor, battle boots, Sky Demon crown, Sky Demon wings, each one flashed with the light of a holy artifact, it was too intense. Moreover, every one of them was dazzling, eye-catching. If he could wear it, then didn't the demon girl want to scream her head off? He was definitely handsome. The Ancestor swallowed the Crimson Soul Saber into his body and said, "You said it, keep it for a while. Just for a moment." Long Fei forced it out and said, "Ancestor, can you do it twice? Give me some face the next time I drop something good. I'll give it all to you to eat. Leave me the Heavenly Demon set." The Patriarch could eat without his control. This was the thing that Long Fei was most worried about. The Ancestor picked his teeth and said, "You're the one who said that." "I did." Long Fei could only agree. The old Ancestor said, "If that's the case, then it's a deal. I never plan on eating the Heavenly Demon set anyways. These things are still of some use to you. Since you said that you can give me whatever you want next time, then I can only agree to it." The demonic set was not the same Overlord set from last time. Compared to the Sky Demon set, the Sky Demon set was much better. Moreover, the demonic set was of great help to Long Fei. It was true that the Yin Huang Ancestor liked to devour holy artifact, but only the powerful strength within the holy artifact could not determine his residual soul. Only then would it be enough for him to cultivate. However, he was even more clear that Long Fei was the real root. Only Long Fei became strong. Only then would he have a good life. If Long Fei was a step stronger, then he would be a step closer to Chaos Realm, closer to the day of his revenge. Long Fei looked up to the sky without tears and said, "Too despicable." Yin Huang Ancestor laughed. Long Fei looked at the Sky Demon set, then looked at the Sky Demon reincarnation attribute, and started to laugh in his heart. "I really earned big this time, huh? Not only did I get the demonic attribute, but also leveled up and even got a set of demonic beast and holy artifact. I earned quite a lot from it." At this moment, the system suddenly sounded out. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the Demon's Sovereign mission. Mission, Demonic Beast King, level, assess time, 1 year, reward, 80 million experience points, 500,000 true chi, 100,000 points. Sky Demon Set Mastering. System Special Reward. Free 3 times. Quest Description. The Supreme Demon Lord, South Horizon region, has received the approval of the 8 Great Demon Sections. Description 2. Cannot be conquered by force. Description 3. Conquest by force. Reward, half. F***CK. What's the situation? SS rank mission. Can I use force? It's the demon race. We can't use force. System. UF***cur. Are you kidding me? Long Fei secretly shivered in his heart. Such a task is originally a very happy thing. But now, Long Fei couldn't get happy no matter how hard he tried. His entire person belonged to the same group. If he could make a move, he would definitely remain silent. Conquering the demon race and not using force? Could he be smart? Demons were all warriors who loved to fight. Without suppression and suppression by force, how could they be subjugated? Impossible. Huff. Long Fei wanted to reject, but the system did not give him any time to reject it. The mission had already been completed, and he would have to complete it no matter what. Then again, Long Fei's heart stirred. If he could get the recognition of the 8 great demon sects and make them listen to his orders, then, more than 2 years later, the Chao Tian sect, the 8 great Vajra faction, and the 8 great demons, wow, just thinking about it makes me excited. All right, this young master uses reason to convince a person and virtue to conquer a person. Ha! Long Fei laughed in his heart. He thought about how he had come to the Heaven sect as the supreme demon lord, and that the scene would be too interesting. Wasn't Hong Tianjun the #1 genius in the southern domain? He was the supreme expert of the demon race. There was no comparison at all. His status and identity had completely crushed Hong Tianjun, and he was extremely formidable towards the Sky sect. Then are the 8 great demon sects weak? Hong Tianjun was awesome. Then was he really a vegetarian? Haha. Hong Tianjun, just wash your ass and wait for me to explode. Long Fei became excited. At this moment, Long Fei, who had been suppressed for several months, finally heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. At the same time, Long Fei was also clear in his heart that there was still a huge gap between him and Hong Tianjun, but compared to a few months ago, he had taken a big step forward. He also knew that Hong Tianjun would crazily improve in 3 years, but Long Fei would be faster than him. At this moment, Wang Shiyun and the others surrounded him. Long Fei, don't scare me. Are you all right? Boss. Master. Everyone gathered around and looked at Long Fei's sinister smile. Wang Shiyun said, "Did you fall, stupid?" Li Yuanba immediately replied, "Boss won't fall so stupid. Then why is he laughing like that?" A naughty smile on his face. Xiaobai thought for a bit and pretended to be scared. He looked at Wang Shiyun and said, "Big sister Shiyun, why don't you do some breathing exercises for Big Brother?" Look at the lifeless look in the boss's eyes. I'm afraid he'll need artificial respiration to save him. Save the boss. Bing was said naively, "Brother Xiaobai, is it that serious?" Not waiting for him to finish, Xiaobai glared at him fiercely. "What do you know? Long Fei really?" Xiaobai was indeed Xiaobai. He was too nice to Long Fei. With his brain's reaction speed, he was simply invincible. Wang Shiyun's face was flushed red. She looked at Xiaobai Lang and said, "Is this really necessary?" Baidu sister-in-law, AA half. Floating life, strongest upgrade system, Xiaobai nodded. Li Yuanba also nodded seriously. Even Arhut started nodding swiftly. Wang Shiyun's face became even redder. She looked at Long Fei, closed her eyes, and seriously kissed him. Chapter 38_8419/2356664. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.